I've made a good start. No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I ever got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you. Bulletins on GB News,
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
I'm Bev Turner. Thank you for joining us on GB News, The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning to you. It's victory for Scotland in the World Cup as they beat Haiti in their opening game of the tournament.
Isn't it nice to start? Well, there were scenes of jubilation as John McGinn secured the nation's first World Cup win in 36 years. We will be live in the next couple of moments on the ground in Boston as fans celebrate well into the night.
Yes, lift-off Tartan Army, boos, bagpipes and a brilliant win over Haiti to kick off Scotland's World Cup campaign. The celebrations longing into the night.
Yes, indeed, it was a rearguard action at times for Steve Clarke's side, but they were helped as Group C rivals Brazil were held by Morocco in New Jersey. It means they go to the top of that group. And away from the World Cup in tennis, Emma Raducanu rolls back the years by reaching the final at Queen's.
Also this morning, Nigel Farage pledges to evict foreign nationals from council housing, prioritising veterans and local residents.
Migrants have 3 months to find private accommodation or face being deported under the Reform leaders' plans.
Well, it comes as new analysis claims more than 100,000 failed asylum seekers are feared to be living in the UK illegally because they've not been deported.
Donald Trump has said a peace deal between the US and Iran will be signed today, reopening the Strait of Hormuz.
It comes as the Defence Secretary, Dan Jarvis, says he'll get British Armed Forces the funds they need, urging the government to meet the moment.
And we'll look back on one of the biggest royal and military spectacles of the year as thousands gathered in central London yesterday to mark the King's official birthday.
Hello there, good morning. A dry, settled day ahead with some sunny spells, but perhaps a bit more cloud than what we saw yesterday. Stay tuned and I'll be here with all the details.
It's just gone 6 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Anne Diamond and this is GB News Breakfast.
So we're starting with huge congratulations to Scotland defeating Haiti 1-0 in their opening World Cup match in Boston.
This is their first World Cup win in 36 years. Well, GB News presenter Ben Leo is in Boston, enjoying the atmosphere, I expect. Ben, what's it like?
Yes, good morning, you two. Good morning, viewers and listeners. East Coast America, Boston is the scene for Scotland's big World Cup return. The last time they were competing in the World Cup was in 1998. Many fans who I've been speaking to this evening weren't even born during that time. It's a very special, momentous occasion for Scotland supporters. And what better way to kick it off and cement it than a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Haiti. The celebrations behind me you can see here in Boston city centre continuing long into the night time. We've had bagpipes, we've had plenty of boos, lots of singing as well, and you have to say they are now top of the group. There's only been one game played in this group. Brazil, the fellow teams in Group C where Scotland compete, they drew surprisingly with Morocco earlier this evening, which means Scotland, for their long absence from this tournament, the heartache and the pain, they go into the second round of games top of the group. So you have to say if they can grab a point against either Morocco, who they play next Friday, or Brazil, they have a very, very good chance of going through. This is what some of the jubilant, delighted Scotland fans, here they are now, said to me. In the stadium?
We're in the fan zone.
What was it like in there? Just tell our viewers.
Honestly, electric. It was just absolutely electric. One of the second best feeling maybe since Denmark. Yeah. Since we qualified against Denmark. Amazing.
1998, the last time you lot played in a World Cup.
I was 4. I don't remember that.
I remember.
He was 1. I was 1.
1-0, top of the group. Are you happy?
Yeah, what a fantastic result, eh? Absolutely brilliant, eh?
Absolutely brilliant.
Were you in the stadium? Where did you watch it?
No, we weren't. We were in a pub just down the road.
How was it at the pub? Busy?
Oh, it was great.
Did you try and get a ticket to the game?
We did, but we just didn't bite the bullet on it, eh? So
how much were the tickets we've been offered?
I think one of them was $700 each.
Wow.
$700.
Spenny.
A lot of money.
Oh, it was mental. Everyone went mad.
Beers flying everywhere?
Really good. Oh, yeah. I was soaked.
And where are you from in Scotland?
Near Perth.
And how much did it cost you to get here?
I don't know. Ask my dad. Too much.
So there we go, Stephen and Anne. Lots of GB News viewers, Scottish GB News viewers taking attention to us right now. The one topic of conversation for this tournament has been ticket prices and travel. One guy told us he spent 15 grand taking his family here from Scotland to the United States. It doesn't matter though, they've won their first game, they're top of the group. Scotland well on their way, potentially, to reaching the knockout stages.
Lovely stuff, Ben. Thank you. Look after yourself out there. Yeah. There you go. Good lads. Right, Aidan McGee's here in the studio. Morning, Aidan. Take us through the action then.
Look, they went ahead after 28 minutes, so that's what you want. You want to be ahead in the first half, and it meant that they could defend and kind of consolidate what they had. I think the fans underestimated Haiti. They were much more accomplished side on the day than I expected, and some of the fans did. But Andy Robertson, one of the defenders, Liverpool player as well, Champions League winner, Premier League winner, he said that while the fans may have underestimated Haiti, they certainly did not. They had them watched at close quarters, and they made sure that they were prepared, and they defended very well. They had other chances as well. Make no mistake, Stephen and Anne, there was pressure on Scotland going into this game, and historically that's not what they've dealt with very well in big matches. As I say, 36 years, I remember I stayed up and watched it. It wasn't actually a time zone thing, but it was past my bedtime nonetheless, back in 1990 when Sweden succumbed to Scotland 2-1 in January. But nonetheless, that was back then. They didn't get through the group that time. This time they have a real chance, but to do that they had to win last night against Haiti. That's because the other two teams in the group, Morocco and Brazil, are very strong. Having said that, those two, as I mentioned at the top of the programme, did draw 1-1. Morocco were very impressive in the first half. Brazil showed they could be got at. And you know what? Scotland could. That might be enough for Scotland because the number of teams in the World Cup now, the way that the third place team in most of the groups has a chance of getting through, as was the case in 1990 actually. But now 3 points can take you through if the goal difference isn't too much against you. Having said that, Scotland have proved they can defend. They've proved they can beat in big teams. They've got some really good players who've won trophies in top leagues around Europe. There's no reason why they should feel any sense of inferiority going into these games against Morocco and Brazil. And those fans do make a hell of a difference.
Don't they?
They really do. They're travelling numbers. This is why the World Cup expanded, because you need teams like Scotland there. You can't have 28 years without Scotland there because they drink the place dry. They spend a load of money.
They do.
They do. That's brilliant. That's what the tournament wants. That's what the host nation pays for the privilege of doing, because they pay FIFA huge amounts of money so that they can have this kind of jamboree in their cities, and it does it. I mean, it adds to GDP in that local area, and that's been proved time and again over tournaments, and that's why they play for the privilege of hosting.
My goodness, yeah, and it's wonderful for the supporters. I mean, they've spent a lot of money.
There was one bloke
time.
yesterday, Ben Leo, interviewed him. Did you see the guy goes, I've spent the kids' inheritance.
Yes. Well, that's what I mean. They've spent a lot of money to get there.
I think the kids are only finding out when they watch the interview.
Yeah. Time, effort and love, and at least they've been repaid with, what a great start.
Those ticket prices, Anne, were disgusting.
Yeah, well...
700, I don't want to be negative at such a positive point in the programme, but £700 each for a ticket is absolutely extraordinary. The people's game. It makes you laugh.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. Well, it's like that couple had a great time just watching the pub out there.
Exactly.
It's still soaking the atmosphere.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, we saw everyone around there. It's a carnival atmosphere. Actually, with the demand for tickets, no matter how much people pay, there's no guarantee you'll get in anyway because Scotland have travelled there in big numbers. It's a massive event for them after 28 years away.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Aidan, we're going to catch up with you later on.
Yeah, and I mean, it's lovely to be able to start with a great positive story, and if it comes from the world of sport today, then so be it. It's a major news story. When you come back, we must also talk about something else. That is, Emma Raducanu was on fire yesterday.
Rolling back the years.
And really good, yeah, so she's done well too.
Yeah, more on that in a moment. Let's turn our attention to Nigel Farage, should we? He's announced that he would evict foreign nationals from council housing.
Under the Reform leaders' plans, migrants will be given 3 months to find private accommodation or face being deported.
Instead, veterans and long-term local residents will get priority, along with domestic abuse survivors and care leavers.
And I'm afraid a shocking story on the front page of today's Sunday Express this morning.
Yeah, their exclusive suggests more than 100,000 failed asylum seekers could still be in Britain because they haven't been deported, despite their applications being rejected.
Well, we're joined this morning by political commentator Jennifer Powers. Morning.
Good morning.
I mean, I wonder, first of all, Nigel Farage's plans, how that will be going down just with our audience watching right now. I imagine a lot will say, it's a sensible idea, why not go ahead with it? It picks out those who really want to stay. They've got to fend for themselves. Why should we fend for them?
Yeah, good morning, Anne. This is the type of announcement which will be very polarising. You'll have a section of the country who will welcome it as absolute common sense. You know, of course, citizenship matters. British citizens should have first choice at help from the state, at first choice at accommodation. And others out there will claim that it's unfair on people who may genuinely need support and not be giving it. But I imagine in terms of the people that Nigel Farage is looking to win over, that this will be a very welcome and well-received announcement.
Yeah, well, also, I mean, to be fair, local residents, veterans, people of that nature who we know often struggle in the United Kingdom. I mean, they are people that a lot of people here think should actually get a priority when it comes to crucial issues like housing.
Well, and one of the categories mentioned in the announcement were care leavers, and I think that is incredibly welcome because these are basically children of the state who age out of foster care. And it's incredibly difficult for any of us when we first get our first our own place, and to do that without any assistance is really, really difficult. So that to me makes perfect sense.
I mean, they are literally 18 thrown in at the deep end.
Yeah.
Fend for yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, we know how hard it is with the price, the cost of general living these days. So to be able to
It's hard enough
do
if
that,
you've got a supportive family.
Absolutely, it's hard enough. And so for those care leavers to be given priority does make a lot of sense. So yes, we have two stories which are separate this morning, but do have that bit of overlap in terms of looking at really the offer. The offer to foreign nationals. And I think Farage is really looking to differentiate between what citizenship means and what you have to do to earn that citizenship.
See, it's interesting because there will be people who say, well, it's populism. And I guess it is populism.
If it's popular, it's populism.
Well, yeah.
Well, yes.
But there is the argument, and this is what seems to resonate with a lot of people, that somehow the government doesn't seem to be picking up on in quite the same way as everybody else, is that it does seem in the UK at the moment that if you are not British, you are prioritised over anyone who is British, no matter how difficult their situation.
Well, and that's not always the case, but it's certainly a very real perception. And so when you take those two things together, that does create a lot of potential, conflict out there, lots of resentment out there, which, is I would say pretty widespread, in certain parts of the country. So I think this is really about Farage He's really trying to take the initiative. He's trying to flesh out the policy platform of reform. We know that's a work in progress, and he has promised further policies as we get closer and closer to the next general election, when we don't know when that will be. But also setting out his stall in terms of how he wants what he wants Britain to be, his vision for the country. And, there is, when we think about the policies he's come out with, and this one this morning, he is really trying to reset the rules around foreign nationals, around refugees, around that offer, because it makes a difference, not just for the people that are here and may be deported, but it also sends a very strong message to those who may come.
That's
so
what
I
was
thinking. Sending the message out to the rest of the world.
It's a deterrent as well.
Yeah, it's all about incentives.
Out a very clear message saying, if you want to come to Britain, you are going to have to fend for yourself. You're going to have to find the money. This isn't, we're not automatically going to give you a house, an income, a credit card, a mobile phone, or etc. You're going to have to look after yourself, so think about it.
Absolutely. And I think the fact that even those who might be in dire need, who are given emergency support or emergency accommodation, which, may be the fair and humane and right thing to do, that it's not going to be a free house for life, that there is, there is an end point, and that you are then expected to go and make a contribution. When I emigrated to this country more than a quarter of a century ago, I was one of 55,000 people, and now we're talking the millions, and it never occurred to me that I would receive benefit or that I would get council housing. It just didn't occur to me. And so I as someone who's made my own way in this country, and have the classic, the huge British mortgage and all the rest of it.
Oh, it's so depressing you hearing you put it that way, but I'm afraid that's the truth.
It is the truth, yeah.
But I'll tell you what's interesting, and it's Lee who's messaged in, and you'll know if you go onto your say that you can put whatever name you want in, and he's got his name and says GB Reform, as a lot of people do, showing their support for reform on their name tag, which is fair enough. But he says, I know foreign nationals who've worked all their life since they got here and got council houses. They should stay.
Oh.
Now, see, that's interesting. If that's someone who is saying they're a reform supporter, it should seem it's not necessarily a clean sweep argument for Nigel Farage.
Well, and this is where it gets, the devil is always in the detail. There may well be a difference between someone who is a dual national, who's taken British citizenship, and if they, during the course of their life here, have received social housing, and, then there wouldn't be any rationale for necessarily taking that away from them, just because they're a dual national. However, for those that are coming, seeking to make a life here, I chose to come here, I chose to stay. I think it's reasonable that the state should expect someone like me not to have recourse to public housing and benefits, at least for a period of time.
Well, yes, I mean, by the sound of it, Lee's friends have stayed for some time, presumably worked and paid into the system.
Right. So,
but are still on council housing.
Well, and that's a bigger question, isn't it, Stephen? That's and perhaps Lee. That's a bigger question about, should social housing be open-ended tenancy, or should it be time limited? And that's one that will really get viewers going, because I'm sure there's a variety of opinions.
Yes.
Some viewers will have grown up in council housing and feel it's absolutely an important part of the housing mix, and people should be allowed to stay in it for life, and sometimes pass it down through the generations. And other people will feel, no, this should be temporary support that helps you out for a number of years, and then you should go find housing in the private sector. So, but definitely moving the conversation on here with both the report and Reform's policy announcement
Yeah.
weekend.
No, it is interesting. All right, Jennifer, thank you.
Yes, very complex.
Maybe we can talk World Cup next time.
Yeah,
I know it's not politics.
Yeah, you were getting very excited there at that end
I
of the
get
table.
double dip because being a dual national, I get to support England and the US.
Yes.
And of course, the US started out with a very convincing win against Paraguay.
So you've got to pick your side.
No, but I get both, which is bonus for me.
Oh,
I think that's allowed. I think that's okay.
I think so.
Oh, I don't think our viewers
No?
agree on that
Okay,
one.
let me say this. If it came down to US versus England, then I would root for England.
Yeah,
is that good enough?
That's what
good enough?
That's a very convenient thing to say at the moment.
Quite right.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, look, the government's reacted to Nigel Farage's deportation plans and saying illegal migrants, asylum seekers and migrants on student or work visas are not eligible for social housing. Nearly 9 in 10 social homes go to UK nationals, and most councils have tough local connections rules in place to ensure housing goes to the people who need it most.
Right, let's have a look at the rest of today's news. And President Donald Trump has said a peace deal between the US and Iran will be signed today to end the fighting and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's foreign ministry, though, say Tehran must be cautious in commenting on the signing date.
A man has been arrested after a woman was injured in a suspected dog attack in Skegness. Police were called to Drummond Road last night, where officers found a woman with significant facial injuries. They've arrested a 40-year-old local man on suspicion of owning a dog dangerously out of control.
Junior doctors in England have called off strikes, which were scheduled to begin tomorrow, Monday, after the government made a new pay offer. The British Medical Association said the new last-minute proposal will be put to its members for a vote.
We keep saying Donald Trump wants to get this deal signed today. We're going to go into that in more detail a little bit later on. But it is his 80th birthday today.
Yes.
So he wants to get it done on his birthday. 80. I mean, it's a heck of a milestone.
It's an amazing milestone, isn't it? But I wonder if he'll get what he wants.
His birthday wish.
His birthday wish would be to sign that deal today. And at least he can say he's done it. We'll see.
Interestingly, what they say is also they sign it electronically. What do? Do you send a peace deal via DocuSign?
Probably.
I mean, it's extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
It's the way of the world now.
Yeah, in the olden days, you used to have to meet somewhere.
Yes.
Neutral.
Now you just sign on your phone. Anyway.
Would you trust that? I don't know.
I don't know.
There's a lot hanging on it, isn't there? Right, well, you're watching us this morning. A very happy Sunday morning it is.
Yes, it is Sunday.
It is a Sunday morning. Time now for our daily reflection.
The GB News Daily Reflection.
Hello, I'm Mike, a vicar in the Church of England. There's a moment in the year when everything changes in the wheat fields behind my house. When after months of waiting, the harvest is finally ready. Miss the window and the crop is lost. Catch it and there is abundance. Jesus once used that picture. He said, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few." In the Bible, harvest is often a picture of people, lives ready to respond, hearts open in ways we might not expect. At Pentecost, that image comes into focus. People from all over the world hear the message about Jesus in their own language and are gathered into God's family through it. It's a moment of ingathering, the beginning of a global harvest. And the striking thing is this: the harvest is still right today. The window hasn't closed. Even in a distracted, skeptical age, there remains a quiet openness, a hunger for meaning, a longing for hope, real questions about why we're here. The Christian claim is that God is still at work drawing people and giving new life where it seemed unlikely. The Bible's harvest language reminds us that what looks ordinary on the surface may be closer to readiness than we think.
And didn't that look lovely with the sunshine and old-fashioned churchyard?
But also it's nice to have something to think about this morning, I think.
If you're not already thinking about how lucky we're going to be with the weather today, let's catch up.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Showers easing away this morning, leaving lots of bright spells, much lighter winds, so feeling warm where we do see any sunshine. There could be some showers through the early hours of the morning, mostly across northern parts of Scotland, perhaps some very light outbreaks of rain across Northern Ireland, but most of the showers, particularly across Scotland, will be easing away. Plenty of bright spells by the afternoon. Now, we do have quite a lot of cloud across the skies this afternoon. This could be thick enough to produce a very odd light shower, but for most it's dry, settled, feeling warm in the sunshine, particularly across the southwest, also western areas of Scotland, feeling very warm here. Now, through into the evening, there should be plenty of late evening sunshine across parts of Scotland. Mostly light winds, though there is still a bit of a northerly breeze across the Northern Isles, just being picked up across some eastern coasts of Scotland as well. A fine end to the day across Northern Ireland. There's some bits and bobs of cloud still remaining across northern parts of England. Quite a similar picture elsewhere across England and Wales, but it should feel warm in any late evening sunshine. And then through the course of the night, it should still remain mostly dry. A mix of cloud, also some clear skies. Eventually, though, through the early hours of the morning, cloud thickening up across southern parts of Wales, southwest England, perhaps seeing some light showers through the early hours of the morning. It should feel fairly warm across parts of the southwest, southern parts of Wales as well. Quite a warm night to come here, but elsewhere and across much of the country, it's going to be a cooler, fresher start as we head towards the new working week. Now, once again, Monday should be mostly dry, settled, plenty of bright, if not sunny spells, though we do have this band of showers pushing into parts of Wales, southwest England, moving its way northeastwards. This could be heavy at times. We might even hear the odd rumble of thunder. Otherwise, once again, feeling warm in the sunshine as we head into next week, a fairly similar picture with temperatures increasing day by day.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Right, still to come for you, the new Defence Secretary, Dan Jarvis, has pledged to meet the moment, whatever that means. He says British Armed Forces will get the funds they need, but why are they getting them under him when they wouldn't get them under the last Defence Secretary?
Conundrum indeed. We'll discuss that next.
Bowl. They are under no illusion. Ray. Are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it. Don't get us on the BBC. Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines. The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it? From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos. What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things up the car as we speak. Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter? So that's a very live question. Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way. You will not want to miss it, trust me.
The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
Join me, Nana Okoye, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
6:28. Now, the new Defence Secretary has said he's determined to get the armed forces the funding they need after his predecessor quit over Labour's military spending plans.
How, I suppose, is the question we want to ask. In his first interview since his promotion, Dan Jarvis urged his own government to meet the moment, despite various challenges being faced.
Let's talk to former British Army spokesman Major Mike Shearer. Good morning to you.
Morning.
I mean, look, let's not beat about the bush. The DIP, the Defence Investment Plan, was ready to go on Monday, and now it seems to have been ripped up.
Well, look, at the bottom of all of this is our defence, our security, our way of life. And if we ever wanted to see another classic example of lions being led by donkeys, here we have it. I mean, Dan Jarvis is now in a very, very difficult position. And I would say there's only one or two other people in a more difficult position than him, and it's the Prime Minister and the Chancellor. So either he has been given assurances that that 28 billion deficit that exists for the MOD, or he cannot be seen to be a patsy, surely. The man must... if you look at his history and his record, he must have that sense of loyalty to his country that he will probably have to walk away.
Yeah, I mean, just to remind our viewers, he's a highly decorated and very well thought of.
Indeed.
Had his service in the military. He can't be seen to betray that, can he?
Exactly.
And yet we find it almost unbelievable that he should be offered so much a better deal than his predecessor. I mean, the former secretary had to resign, things were so bad. This secretary has suddenly walked in and says he can get what he wants.
Well, we will see. We will see within the next few weeks. It has to be produced by the NATO summit in Ankara, which is coming up, I think, around about the end of the first week in July. It has to be produced. Now, it was, as you quite rightly say, it was, in theory, all done and dusted. And our previous Secretary of State for Defence got to see that last Monday. And then he had to listen to the Prime Minister on Wednesday tell lies over the dispatch box to Kemi Badenoch. And I think that's probably what tipped him over the edge, was this, quite frankly, lies. He has seen it. He has seen what's in the dip, and he knows that it wasn't what he was telling the Leader of the Opposition on Wednesday. So,
remind us what you're calling a lie. What is it that he said that you don't believe he was?
It's all about the sums. It's the money. It's what he's going to... Look, when the SDR was produced, led by Lord George Robertson, a very credible man, a Labour individual who worked alongside a general and another highly thought-of individual to produce the SDR, a strategic defence review. And in one foul sweep, our Prime Minister and his Chancellor has turned that defence security review into a defence spending review. And they're two different things. One will appease the Chancellor, the other looks after the security of our nation. And let's not forget, as we often hear from Prime Ministers, the first order of any government is the defence and security of the realm. So, and we've heard the trope now come out over the last weeks. He's more interested in welfare than warfare. And that old adage, if you want peace, prepare for war. You've got to show strength to avoid going to war. Certainly the best battle that I ever helped win was one that I didn't actually felt, and it was the Cold War. So while I was racing around showing strength with NATO in my tank all through the 80s, along with some other political issues, finances, etc., against the Soviet Union, it was enough to stop what would have been a hot war.
What I don't understand, though, even if this, and it would beg a belief, really, and raise so many questions, if Dan Jarvis manages to produce the dip and there is an additional $4.5 billion or whatever in there, still, how does that take us from what John Healey said of saying we cannot defend our country to a state where we can defend our country over just $4.5 billion? It's not enough to change the scales, is it?
No, it has to be significant. Unless they get to what is genuinely required, which is a $28 billion deficit over the next 3 to 4 years, I would say all we're dealing with is smoke and mirrors. Look, when you consider that we currently have a GDP spend of 2.3%, thereabout. When you strip away our intelligence services that is paid for from that, MI5, MI6, the GCHQ, by the way, MI5, that should be spent and paid for by the Home Office. MI6, GCHQ should be a Foreign Office spend. The nuclear assets, what used to be a central government budget line, it was George Osborne that snuck that into defence. And then, of course, 9% of the MOD's budget goes on contributing to veterans' pensions. That should surely sit with DWP. So when you strip all that away, we are left with around about 1.5% of GDP spend on our conventional forces. The Army, Navy, Air Force, tanks, ammunition, ships. And I'm afraid that's nowhere near enough. And if you look at the league table spend for NATO, because we have snuck in these intelligence services, our nuclear assets, etc., we're up in the top third. But really, we are at the very bottom. When you strip these things away and you look at what we're contributing, the British Army alone, their remit, just the British Army, but this will account for the other two services, which are in dire straits as well. The British Army's remit to NATO is a core headquarters and 2 divisions. My ready reckoning is that we would be struggling to produce 1 brigade on an enduring operation. It's pitiful.
OK. Mike, it's hugely depressing, but good to see you. Thank you.
Well, the Prime Minister has described defence spending as his #1 priority, and he said he had made hard-edged decisions to increase military funding. Doesn't quite tell us very much, that, does it, really?
No, I'd love to get your thoughts on that, gbnews.com/yoursay. Should we cheer ourselves up with a little bit of money? It's a huge prize pot we're giving away in our latest Great British Giveaway. Here's how you take part.
There's just 2 weeks left to make your summer sensational, as we're giving you the chance to win a simply stunning £76,543.21 in tax-free cash. That's cash that could go towards family treats, spectacular summer days out, or give you the chance to chill out and relax somewhere like here, the Imperial Island Resort in Paphos. You really could be our next big winner with a whopping £76,543.21 in your bank. But hurry, there's just 2 weeks remaining.
For a chance to win £76,543.21 in tax-free cash, text cash to 63225. 1 entry costs £2.50 plus 1 standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 DE1, PO Box 8690, Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Right, well, the sport. There's a lot of sport around at the moment, Aidan, isn't there?
Yes, there is indeed. We'll round up the rest of the news from the World Cup. And in tennis, Emma Raducanu, who rolls back the years by reaching the final at Queen's. Join me after the break.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK. Oh, thank you.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5.
You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah.
Uncensored.
Very, very easy tonight on the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that, because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Needs to
stop.
You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Aidan's got the sport. Good morning. I mean, obviously, we've been reporting already about Scotland and their great start to the World Cup, but what else is going on?
Well, because there's so many teams in this World Cup, the schedule is rather unrelenting. I mean, even as we speak now, Australia are a goal up against Turkey, but we've seen lots of... Oh, 2-0 now, I'm hearing in my ear. Thank you, Alistair. And then earlier on today, obviously, Scotland beat Haiti, a big pressure game for Scotland. We've got 2 games today as well. Germany in action for the first time against Curaçao. Curaçao is their first tournament for them. Given that the World Cup goes back to 1930, I'm not even sure Curaçao was founded as a country when the World Cup was first conceptualised. And Holland are in action tonight against Japan. So the game's coming thick and fast. A nice little subplot with the England team as well, the England squad rather. Kansas City Police Department have been involved because they've made they've brought 2 men into custody.
Oh, because they had their kit stolen.
Or 2 people into custody, I should say. Yes, they had the kit stolen, but I gather the story now the FA have been putting out now that most of it has been recovered. So it's a nice comedy story.
Including Harry Kane's boots.
Yes. Yeah, he's sponsored by
Clearly
Skechers. I'm sure Skechers would have sent him a new pair. But I remember a case with Gary Lineker back in 1986. They played a game at Oxford United in a title run-in. Everyone made a joke of it. but he lost his boots in the dressing room beforehand. He missed 4 one-on-one chances in a key match for Everton at Oxford United.
Well,
they lost the league. Their coach, a guy called Colin Harvey, who was number 2 to Howard Kendall, he told me many years later that as they were going home on the coach, they found his boot, they found Gary Lineker's boots behind a radiator, scorched. And that was the night. That was the night that effectively they lost the league title to Liverpool.
Well, that's why I can imagine footballers have their lucky boots as well.
They have lucky boots. Also, there's such a thing as wearing them in.
Yeah.
So in the old days when I was at school, I was told that when I bought new football boots, wear them around the house for a little while. Yeah. My mum wasn't happy because the studs would make indents into the carpet. But you know, the idea was that you mould it around your feet. Sometimes you put it in water.
But then if they were that important, you'd take them with you, wouldn't you? You wouldn't just put them in the general kit bag.
I don't think you can. I think you have to. You know, it all has to be audited. It has to be with all the kit. I mean, he'll have more than one pair of boots, I would have thought.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think it's going to. Well, there's no evidence that it's going to actually scupper our chances at the World Cup. But nonetheless, the problem is over anyway. Most of it's recovered, and the rest of it may turn up. It didn't disrupt their training day yesterday. And then, of course, we've got the tennis today. I thought the tennis would be completely overshadowed by the World Cup, and then Emma Raducanu produces a performance like that, not once, but twice.
Well, so it was stunning. In one afternoon, she had to play the quarter-final and the semi-final.
Yep.
She only had about an hour and a half's break between the two.
Yeah, it was extraordinary.
But she was on fire.
In heat as well, Kamila Rakimova of Russia was the first to succumb to Emma Raducanu's 6-3, 7-5. Then it was Eva Jovic of the United States, just 18 years old, the same age Emma Raducanu was when she won the US Open back in September 2021. 6-2, 6-2. And today she's up against Donna Vekic of Croatia. She beat Katie Bolter yesterday, who we were all talking about yesterday. Not expecting Raducanu to come up on the inside track and steal the show. And a great chance for her today.
I hope she keeps that form, but I mean, that is the third major match she's played in 2 days.
Yes.
Which, you know, is
But that's the first time, I don't know what you think, because I know you follow it closely as well, but that's the first time I've seen her play anything like how she did in September 2021 at Flushing Meadows.
So what's changed?
Well,
she's back with her old coach.
She's done a Marty McFly, and she's gone back to the future. She's rehired Andrew Richardson, her coach. Now, she didn't fall out with him back 5 years ago. He just couldn't. As she got more professional and she became, her schedule got bigger and bigger, she just couldn't commit to travelling around the world. It's an unrelenting schedule. And but I suppose given that she's home, but given that she's in London, he can probably step in. I don't know if he's going to do the job long term, because she seems to go through coaches at a rate of she's had loads since in the last 5 years. But yeah, she's 23 now. It's time to come of age. We've been making excuses for her for a lot of years. And yesterday
she played properly yesterday.
Brilliant.
Really like
brilliant.
A champ.
And if she's ranked number 42 in the world, just getting to the final of Queens will have a difference for her ranking at Wimbledon, I would have thought.
It will, won't it?
But let's hope she goes and sees the job through today.
Yeah, good luck, Emma, this afternoon.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Aidan. Look, we've got the papers heading your way in just a moment. We've got Emma Wolf and Kevin Schofield standing by. But first, here's the European weather.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello there. Some showers affecting parts of Spain, otherwise lots of dry weather, lots of warm sunshine, feeling very warm in that sunshine across some areas. Now, some showers could turn a bit heavy at times across parts of Spain. We'll also start to see some showers bubbling up through Monday across the Adriatic coastline. But otherwise, lots of dry, settled weather as high pressure continues, feeling very warm across some inland areas as well. The sunshine is set to continue into next week and temperatures turning quite hot by the end of the week.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
All the things that we might not think about when we think about a pint of beer, all the things that go into running a pub like this one. So I'll hand you the microphone, you tell us while I have a go at this. Don't judge me too harshly, Dawn.
Amazing. So obviously people don't take into effect that the energy costs and the raw material costs, also the packaging, overheads and the tax hikes. So when we're pulling a pint of beer, we have to think about the cost that's gone into making the beer and the rises in that. We also have to think about the overheads, the staff, the electrics which are plumbed in to pour in a pint. This obviously is very astronomical to pubs, because if it increases, we're therefore going to have to put that onto the consumer, making the pint of beer more expensive.
GB News, the People's Channel. GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
You can't help wondering if that's what Prince William, future king, of course, is sort of planning for the future, whether that's the sort of slightly more laid-back attitude towards modern life.
Yes, I mean, I think we're going to see a huge change in the type of monarchy we have when he comes to the throne. We can very much see that King Charles is his mother's son. King Charles very much regards the Coronation Act as a sacrament, that it's essentially akin to becoming a priest, something that you do for life, much as the Queen Elizabeth felt it was too, a deeply sacred spiritual bond, a covenant between God and himself and the people. We know that that is not really the way that Prince William regards monarchy as well. I personally think, for example, that Prince William will become the first king to abdicate.
GB News, the People's Channel. Sunday with Michael Portillo from 11, only on GB News.
I thought the film, which Spielberg didn't somehow strike the right note.
So this would be the way I felt about High Society, the musical. It's glossy, it's beautiful, it's impressive, but you feel a little bit distant from it. Warhorse, you are in there. Fantastic humour, that brings you in, you laugh with them, you care about them. So even when they're in the trenches and Albert makes a friend, they're bantering about girlfriends and things like that. You absorb how arbitrary and terrible war is, you know, decisions made by people far away, young lads just shoved over to run horse charges
and it's
into...
happening now,
yeah.
Stefan, let's be honest.
Absolutely.
What you're describing is happening now.
Well, this is why it's resonating so much, because you're sitting there going, what is the point? It's so beautifully done. I cannot recommend it enough.
Where?
This one is on at the National Theatre. It's Come Back Home. It's where it started almost 20 years ago.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Right, we're going through the papers with political editor at HuffPost UK, Kevin Schofield, and the journalist and broadcaster, Emma Wolfe. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Can we start, Kevin, with electric car sales targets in the Sunday Times?
Yeah, so it looks as though Keir Starmer has finally decided he can stand up to Ed Miliband for once, and he's going to water down these targets on the sale of all electric cars. So basically, at the moment, it's 80% of new car sales are supposed to be all electric by 2030 because of net zero, and that's going to be watered down to 50%.
That's quite a watering down.
Yeah, it's quite a big watering down, and it's, you know, we know that Ed Miliband obviously is a real zealot really when it comes to net zero. So this is obviously quite a big deal. But the thing, the elephant in the room here is Keir Starmer won't be Prime Minister for very much longer. So all these stories...
Possibly.
Well, possibly.
I know.
Have you heard something we haven't?
No, but I mean, one way or another...
I'm trying to add balance.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one way or another. I think he's not going to survive. So these types of stories are, well, this is what I'm going to do, you know, in a few months' time. Well, the chances are you're not going to be there in a few months' time, and then it's a Prime Minister, and who knows what happens. He's kind of Ed Miliband could be Prime Minister.
Well, he could, and then he'll get what he wants, won't he?
And then you can bet your bottom dollar these targets will not be watered down, and so you know that's not beyond the realms of possibility.
No.
So I think it's worth bearing that in mind.
Yeah. But even beyond the Starmer thing and whether or not he's a lame duck, you know, does he have any credibility or authority left? This whole thing around electric cars is actually a real problem for drivers. I was chatting to an Uber driver who said to me, we were pretty much forced to buy electric cars. When they want to get them fixed, he said, I can't take it to the regular garage. I have to take it to an electric car. You know, like all of the kind of infrastructure behind it, all the charging, all of that stuff that you need in order to encourage everyone to go for electric cars. If we're going to do it properly, fine. Then you need lots of garages that can do electric cars. Then you need lots of charging points, a lot more than we have. I mean, we used to have one in our road. We've now got 3, I think, and that's in central London. Where are people going to charge up? You know, all of that.
Well, that's it, the professional
all
drivers.
of that needs to be in place.
professional drivers do complain about this range anxiety because they can't fit so many jobs into the day because they've always got to think about the mileage they're doing.
Plus, they're going to be charged a whole load of road tax in a couple of years.
Yeah. And they were told that they were not going to be paying things like congestion charges. All of that, which I think leaves a lot of electric car drivers thinking, do you know what? I'll go back to my old,
it's not worth the hassle.
To a diesel.
Yeah, the infrastructure isn't right. Can we talk about things which seem chaotic? And I know it's a bit of a jump, but in the Sunday Telegraph, Emma, we're now classing bran flakes as junk food, according to the government.
This kind of thing makes me so angry. These are Labour's new plans, and what they're doing is they're
not junk food. No.
Of course they're not junk food. Let me tell you, nobody ever got obese eating bran flakes, OK? It is just so obvious. It's like when we talk about yoghurt that may be quite high in natural sugars because of the fruit. No one got obese. We know what makes people obese. We know the junk food, the fried food, the saturated fats, the things that give you heart disease, all of that. Can we just be realistic? Labour's new plans about bran flakes classifies naturally occurring sugars, such as glucose, which does occur in bran flakes because of starch and things like that. They will now be classified as unhealthy because they will be naturally high in sugars, even though those are natural sugars. Let's just reflect on bran flakes for a minute, if we may. They're high in fibre, which is good. We need a high fibre diet. They are low in saturated fats, which is good. They are nutritionally dense, which is good. It leaves you feeling fuller for longer. Bran flakes are a good thing. With a bit of semi-skimmed milk, whatever. That is a healthy
and I quite agree.
food.
I mean, have you ever come across anyone who overeats bran flakes?
People don't.
Not something you would overeat, is it?
That's true.
I have met people who eat an entire box of Cocoa Pops. Not looking at myself at all. But, I mean, yeah, you can overdo it on Frosties and Cocoa Pops and on...
is covered in chocolate.
Very chocolatey cereals, which I really think are wrong. I mean, for kids, when you see these chocolate whatever things.
No, absolutely,
But even that, it's still cereal. It's still basically starch and maize and wheat and whatever. It's not fried food.
Yeah.
It's the kind of wrong-headed.
I can understand not wanting to classify it as health food because...
Bran flakes basically are health food. They're basically cardboard, aren't they?
Well, yeah, but it's not...
They're fibre.
They have some health benefits, but it's the fact that it's certainly not junk. Even if you view it as a neutral food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
It's not a problem.
No. Sorry, that was very short but sweet. But we are going to have more time in the next hour.
But high in fibre.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Here's the weather.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Showers easing away this morning, leaving lots of bright spells, much lighter winds, so feeling warm where we do see any sunshine. There could be some showers through the early hours of the morning, mostly across northern parts of Scotland, perhaps some very light outbreaks of rain across Northern Ireland, but most of the showers, particularly across Scotland, will be easing away. Plenty of bright spells by the afternoon. Now, we do have quite a lot of cloud across the skies this afternoon. This could be thick enough to produce a very odd light shower, but for most it's dry, settled, feeling warm in the sunshine, particularly across the southwest, also western areas of Scotland, feeling very warm here. Now, through into the evening, there should be plenty of late evening sunshine across parts of Scotland. Mostly light winds, though there is still a bit of a northerly breeze across the Northern Isles, just being picked up across some eastern coasts of Scotland as well. A fine end to the day across Northern Ireland, though some bits and bobs of cloud still remaining across northern parts of England. Quite a similar picture elsewhere across England and Wales, but it should feel warm in any late evening sunshine. And then through the course of the night, it should still remain mostly dry. A mix of cloud, also some clear skies. Eventually, though, through the early hours of the morning, cloud thickening up across southern parts of Wales, southwest England, perhaps seeing some light showers through the early hours of the morning. It should feel fairly warm across parts of the southwest, southern parts of Wales as well. Quite a warm night to come here, but elsewhere and across much of the country, it's going to be a cooler, fresher start as we head towards the new working week. Now, once again, Monday should be mostly dry, settled, plenty of bright, if not sunny spells, though we do have this band of showers pushing into parts of Wales, southwest England, moving its way northeastwards. This could be heavy at times. We might even hear the odd rumble of thunder. Otherwise, once again, feeling warm in the sunshine. As we head into next week, a fairly similar picture with temperatures increasing day by day.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
There's just 2 weeks left to grab a chance to live the summer of your dreams.
With a totally tax-free £76,543.21 in tax-free cash to be won.
Someone really has to win it, and it could be you.
For a chance to win, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way. You will not want to miss it, trust me.
The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in, the Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages. Because the news is going to happen. So get a head start today. Patrick Christie's tonight, Late Edition. Alex Armstrong tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Good morning. It's victory for Scotland in the World Cup as they beat Haiti in their opening game of the tournament.
Well, as you can see and hear, there were scenes of jubilation as John McGinn secured the nation's first World Cup win in 36 years. We're live on the ground in Boston as fans celebrate well into the night.
Yes, what a way to cement your World Cup comeback since 1998. Their first game against Haiti, 1-0, and the celebrations will be going on long into the night.
Rearguard action at times for Steve Clarke's side, but they were helped as Group C rivals Brazil were held by Morocco in New Jersey. It means they currently sit top of that group. And in tennis, Emma Raducanu rolls back the years by reaching the final at Queen's.
In other news, Nigel Farage pledges to evict foreign nationals from council housing, prioritising veterans and local residents.
And that comes as brand new analysis claims that more than 100,000 failed asylum seekers are said to be living in the UK illegally because they have not been deported.
Donald Trump turns 80 today. And he said a peace deal between the United States and Iran will be signed on his birthday, reopening the Strait of Hormuz.
Dan Jarvis, the new Defence Secretary, says he'll get British armed forces the funds they need, urging the government to meet the moment.
And we'll reflect on one of the biggest royal and military spectacles of the year as thousands gathered in London to mark the King's official birthday.
Hello there, good morning. A dry, settled day ahead with some sunny spells, but perhaps a bit more cloud than what we saw yesterday. Stay tuned and I'll be here with all the details.
It's just gone 7 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Anne Diamond, and this is GB News Breakfast.
And we are starting with wonderful, happy news this morning, especially if you're north of the border, because Scotland have defeated Haiti 1-0 in their opening World Cup match in Boston.
This is their first World Cup win in 36 years. GB News presenter Ben Leo joins us from all of the atmosphere and what's going on in Boston. Hi there, Ben.
Hello, Stephen. Hello, Anne. Good morning to you and viewers and listeners. Yes, East Coast America is the scene for Scotland's big World Cup comeback. They've not competed in the tournament since 1998. Tonight, a hard-fought, gritty win against Haiti, 1-0. John McGinn, the Aston Villa star, the Premier League star, doing the honours. And you have to say, the celebrations, they've calmed down a little bit now, but there's been music pumping, bagpipes playing, plenty of booze flowing as well. I caught up with some fans minutes after the full-time result. This is what they had to say. In the stadium?
We're in the fan zone.
What was it like in there? Just tell our viewers.
Oh, it's electric. It was just absolutely electric. One of the second best feeling maybe since Denmark. Yeah. Since we qualified against Denmark. Amazing.
1998, the last time you lot played in a World Cup.
I was 4. I don't remember that.
I remember.
He was 1. I was 1.
1-0, top of the group. Are you happy?
Yeah, what a fantastic result, eh?
Yeah,
Absolutely brilliant, eh?
Absolutely brilliant.
Were you in the stadium? Where did you watch it?
No, we weren't. We were in a pub just down the road.
How was it, the pub? Busy?
Oh, it was great.
Did you try and get a ticket to the game?
We did, but we just didn't bite the bullet on it, eh? So
how much were the tickets we've been offered?
I think one of them was $700 each.
Wow.
$700.
Spenny.
A lot of money.
Oh, it was mental. Everyone went mad.
Beers flying everywhere?
Really good. Oh, yeah. I was soaked.
And where are you from in Scotland?
Near Perth.
And how much did it cost you to get here?
I don't know, ask my dad. Too much.
Tens of thousands of Scotland fans making the journey here to America. Most, you have to say, without tickets. On my flight back from London a couple of days ago, the captain came on the tannoy and was begging and pleading from passengers, if anyone had a ticket, come to the front of the plane. And on a separate flight, it was reported that Scotland fans had completely wiped out the booze on the plane, all the beer and the lager. I did catch up with one fan who was inside the stadium, lucky enough to get a ticket. This is what he had to say after the game. I've got one delighted Scotland fan with me now. How was it? 1-0. How are you feeling?
It was absolutely superb. John McGinn is going to win the Ballon d'Or. Scotland are going to win the World Cup. And we're going to drink your eels.
And you were in the stadium?
I was there, yes, I was.
What was it like, the atmosphere, when McGinn scored that opening goal?
Oh, here we go. It was absolutely, it was superb. One of, if not the best I was in. It was, words can't describe it.
And how much did you pay to come here? Because there's lots of talk about it being the most expensive World Cup ever. Did that come into your mind at all?
Yeah, did I? Because the Americans charge us £540 a ticket. Like, come on.
Is that what you paid? $540?
$540, aye. Don't tell my mum that.
That's hefty. But it's got. Is it worth it after tonight?
Oh yeah, of course it was. Aye. We're top of the group. Brazil who?
And you've got Morocco next Friday. That could be your route into the next round.
Yeah, 1 point does it. Really, 1 point does it. It's perfect, and we will get it. Come on, Scotland.
And just very quickly, the celebrations behind us late into the night. How long are you staying out?
As long as they'll have us.
So there we go, Stephen and viewers and listeners. Celebrations continuing tonight. Apologies for any fruity language. You can understand probably there's been a few bevies that have been sunk in the wake of that. For now, Scotland on their way in this World Cup. England play on Wednesday against Croatia in Dallas.
Wonderful stuff.
Oh, brilliant.
Ben, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, fruity language and 1 or 2 fruity fingers, so apologies for that as well if you're watching.
Yeah, but he was just, well, you know, he was having a whale of a time, wasn't he? When you interview somebody like that, you just have to nod in agreement all the time because you can't actually
hand back.
completely get everything they're saying. But, oh, it's just lovely, though, to see people so happy.
It is. It's great. What about the actual action?
Well, you know what? In among all the capers and the jubilation, the bevies that Ben talked about, there was pressure on Scotland last night. Make no mistake about that. Had they not won last night, that would effectively have been their World Cup over because there's not much hope of them getting, I don't know, certainly not 6 points out of the next few 2 games, certainly probably not 4 either. They needed to win yesterday. That win on its own could yet take them through as the best third-place qualifier. But look, it wasn't pretty. There was a rear-guard action at some parts of the game. They scored in the 28th minute, so they had something to cling to. Andy Robertson, the fullback, Champions League winner, Premier League winner, he said after the game, he said, the fans, we think, underestimated Haiti. We certainly did not. They beat New Zealand 4-0 the other week as well in one of the pre-tournament warm-ups or friendlies, which is more than England beat them, actually. They beat them 2-0 last week. So not the mugs that everyone thought they were going to be, but Scotland got the job done. I remember back in 1990 when they lost against Costa Rica in the first game. They did beat Sweden in the second game. That was the last World Cup match they won in 1990 in Genoa with goals by Stuart McCall and a penalty by Mo Johnson 10 minutes from time. And as I say, past my bedtime. But that ignited hope for them. But still, Brazil in the last game, which they lost late on, was too much of a bridge to go over. And the issue was that the first game, which was the one they should have won, they didn't win. This time they've done that. And so they've got a little bit of leeway against Morocco next Friday, but still a hell of a job to do to try and get through, because if they don't get they have to avoid getting thrashed. But you know what? They've proved they can defend. Yeah. They've got some really good players who've won major tournaments and major trophies.
So it's not enough for, I know lots of people, even I was talking to last night, who said, oh, you know, Haiti, fear. I mean, that's nothing much. But
you have to understand, Anne, when these countries get to a World Cup, players play beyond their capabilities. They realise that it's their one shot. And yes, OK, it's an expanded World Cup. It's going to be, in theory, easier for these countries to get to World Cups. But it's still, for a player, it's every 4 years. So they play above expectation. So they're going to be really, really difficult to beat.
So don't brush off this victory.
Oh, no, I'm not brushing off the victory.
No, I'm not saying you are.
Not at all.
Some people are.
Yeah, they are. Look, people are critical, yes. But, I mean, look, the fact is, Scotland needed to win. They got the job done. And that is all Steve Clarke and his players. And all those fans out there in Boston will care about this morning.
36 years they've been waiting. That's why everybody's...
I know. Well, they've had moments in World Cups, don't get me wrong. Holland in 1978 was part of the Trainspotting movie when they beat Holland in Argentina 3-2, one of the best moments in Scottish football. And obviously the Sweden game in 1990 as well, big moment for them as well.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
No, it's really nice to see.
Yeah. Jennifer Powers is actually alongside us. We were going to talk politics in a minute, but...
She's a huge football fan,
how's the World Cup going for you?
Yeah, no, I just absolutely thrilled with the USA beating Paraguay 4-1. I think it's soccer, as they call it in America, has come a long way since the US last hosted the World Cup.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more fans than there were. I mean, my family over there follows not just the World Cup, but the Premier League, which probably didn't happen 30, 40 years ago. So
the timings don't work, though, do they? That's the problem.
Oh, it's awful. I remember in past World Cups, you know, skiving off from work quite a bit to turn on the match.
Really? You're lucky.
Oh, yeah.
I never skived off work.
It's part of your job, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is true.
It's not skiving. So, no, I at my age, I can't stay up and watch these games at 2, 3 in the morning. Are you kidding?
I know.
It's nice that you are a proper football fan, aren't you?
Yeah, no. But anyway, as I was saying last time, I have double pleasure because I can support England and USA, which is great. But, however, if it ever came to the two facing each other, then I would have to root for England.
And your kids? Do they consider themselves to be English or American?
Well,
both?
Both, but when it comes to football, we support England because it just means so much more to the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's true. Anyway, we better crack on with politics.
Oh, yes.
That's why you're here.
Let's talk immigration.
Well, it is immigration, because there's this new plan from Nigel Farage to say if you're non-British citizen and you're in council housing, you're going to have to move out and find somewhere else to live or be deported. In the meantime, the Sunday Express is saying there's 100,000 failed asylum seekers in this country because they have failed to be deported. That in itself, I mean, that's bigger than the average small town in the UK. So it's a shocking figure.
It's a huge figure, and you know. reading into that story, I started thinking, how reliable even are these statistics? You know, they're estimating that there's this 100,000 that have they failed to deport, but it could be much higher because we don't really know the veracity. That's their best guess. So as you say, it's a sizable number, and you know, we've seen a real escalation of Reform's policy platform. One could speculate that they're concerned about Restore coming up on their right-hand side, and they are seeking to reassure their supporters and potential voters that they have what it takes to, you know, create the Britain that they feel those people will want. So they seem to be, you know, hardening their proposals around housing. And
well, it was about time, though, wasn't it? I mean, a lot of people were saying we need to see some real policy talk.
Yeah, and they have been doing that increasingly over 2026, and so it'll be interesting to see how this lands and whether it brings them additional support. And of course, they're in a difficult situation because now that they have Restore to their right, you know, any policy that they make, they could perhaps lose some supporters back to the Conservatives or to Labour, and they could lose others to Restore. So they're experiencing now what the Conservatives might have experienced previously, which feeling that squeeze and having to decide which way to jump in terms of their policy platform.
It's interesting in terms of talking about policy platform, though, because it's this idea, talking to Richard Tice the other day, saying, no, we're absolutely ready for a general election. But look, there's not going to be one imminently, but there is at least the possibility, isn't there, that we could be facing a general election before 2029.
Oh, there absolutely is. And, you know, I think all politicians have to say they're ready. There's no way that Reform is ready for a general election. I mean, fighting
well,
smaller...
the Conservatives aren't either, are they?
No party is. They don't have... I mean, Reform is in a slightly better position because they do have... they've been very successful with their fundraising compared to the other major parties. So in that sense, they're in a better position. But with regard to candidate selection, which is incredibly tricky, and the more, you know, a general election, you're obviously fielding hundreds and hundreds of candidates. Having the quality control and the vetting to do that takes a lot of time and effort, and we've seen in the past for all parties, well, that's gone wrong. But it's just even the machine, you know, having the election agents, having the directors of the campaigns in the regions able to, you know, just able to sort out the logistics is not something that they're ready for, or indeed, as you say, the Conservatives or the Labour Party. So all of these parties can fight individual smaller elections, but to fight a general election is a completely different beast.
Yeah. What do you make of... I mean, you've been dealing in politics for a long time, so, I mean, 25 years of being in the UK, and we're very pleased to have you, can I say. But it's... Have you known a time like this, where politically it just seems... I mean, you cannot keep up one day to the next with what is going on.
I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and the podcast host was saying, you know, we thought doing a podcast daily was a bit overkill, but now it feels like we need to do one multiple times a day just to keep up with things as they develop. And I suppose one could say, well, you know, you've got GB News, right? Because you're getting updates throughout the day. You don't need a podcast.
Well, you've also got President Trump, who tweets every morning, it seems, with something new, or maybe the same thing, but it's not what he said yesterday. He sets a news agenda every single day.
He does, although I have to say with the Iran story, I mean, I think I read a statistic that said something like he had mentioned that they were close to a deal 39 times over the course of 2 months, which you've lived because you've been covering this news story, and it does seem a little bit Groundhog Day.
What I don't understand, and maybe you'll understand his thinking on this better than we do, but I mean, the fact that even he said last night, we're going to sign the deal tomorrow, which is today, on his birthday. When Iran has immediately then turned around and said, no, we're not. Why would you set yourself up for that potential failure?
I don't know. There's increasing concern amongst the hawks in the US about where this Iran conflict is going to end up, because it did look very positive at the start for those people who wanted, you know, Iran's proxy armies to to be de-escalated, to be defunded, who wanted to get rid of the Iranian nuclear threat. So there was a lot of hope that this would bring a bit of relief and stability in the region. And as things have gone on, it seems to be that Trump is not willing to go back to a kinetic warfare. And therefore, you know, if you're not willing to do that, then you cede the leverage to your opponent, in this case, the Iranian regime. And, you know, a ceasefire only helps the weaker side. It only helps Iran because they can get their missile capability. They can play for time and they can rearm and reorganize. And, you know, it's not something that you do from a position of strength. And so a lot of hawks in the US are saying that this is a misstep by the Trump administration, that he sort of lacks the will to follow through and win, and he's, you know, desperate to do so ahead of various milestones in the diary. And this is one of them. This is one of them. But we've got the G7 coming up. We've got America's 250th anniversary in July. We've got the midterms in November. You know, there's lots of reasons why he should want to conclude things. But I'm afraid if you let your opponent in negotiations know that you're on the clock, they have no incentive to do a deal. They're just going to string you along. So, unfortunately, America's in a very difficult position on this. Doing better on the football, but on the Iran conflict, difficult days, I'm afraid.
All right, Jennifer, thank you for now.
It's not as if he wasn't warned as well.
Yes.
There you go. OK, what about yesterday? It was one of the biggest royal and military spectacles of the year, with thousands gathering in central London. Oh, and weren't the Red Arrows fabulous? It was all about marking the King's official birthday and, of course, the trooping of the colour.
Fantastic stuff, wasn't it? Lovely to see the Royals out in the sunshine as well. Let's talk to former Royal correspondent Charles Ray. Charlie, good morning. Nice to see you. What did you make of it all yesterday? Because, I mean, you have to say, I still think, and I don't know whether it would please the King, but I think the Princess of Wales stole the limelight a little bit.
You mean Scotland's victory? No, I'm sorry.
Oh, yes.
No, it was fantastic. I mean, she looked she was fabulous. I mean, she's one of those women like Princess Diana. She could wear sackcloth and ashes and still look $1 million. There's no doubt about that. And she certainly was the star of the show. Everything came together. You know, the whole event was not marked by anything going wrong. The sunshine was out, the crowds were out, everybody was really supportive of the royal family. And I would encourage people who can to look at Instagram for the behind-the-scenes look at the royal family. There's some really nice footage of them arriving and, you know, a little bit off duty before the event started.
Yeah, it's interesting if you're into fashion. I don't know how much you are, Charles, but that occasionally Kate will wear an outfit that absolutely pays tribute to Princess Diana. And the one she wore yesterday was almost completely identical and even produced by the same designer as an outfit that Diana wore spectacularly all those years ago. She's not frightened to do that, and one wonders why, in a way, she does do it. Maybe it's for William, I don't know, but it was brilliant.
It is. I mean, she certainly has a great fashion sense, or she has got fashion advisors who, you know, help her out with her outfits. I mean, the outfit she wore yesterday, the sort of flying saucer hat and everything else, was just superb. You couldn't, and you can't take your eyes really off her when she's standing at things like the balcony. She just looks, as I said, she just looks great all the time. Whatever she's wearing.
I'll tell you what was a shame, though. We didn't see the King on horseback.
No.
Perhaps just not feeling up to it yesterday.
Maybe, but he's approaching 78, and I know how he feels. You know, there's a lot of things you can't do at that stage. And let's not forget the Queen rode on horseback for quite a while, and then she had to give up as well. But it's a shame. But you know, it was still a great day, and I think as well, if you looked at the kids too. Isn't it remarkable how George and Charlotte have really sprung up? Louis catching up a little bit, but George and Charlotte really look almost grown up, and he's going to be 13 in a few weeks. So, you know,
a lot of Yeah, a lot of people pointed out that actually George is as tall as his mother. She was wearing heels, remember?
Yes, she
I mean,
was,
he
yeah.
has sprung up, hasn't he?
He has.
And he looks quite serious.
Well, yes. I mean, he wasn't so serious when he had the minor sneeze. He had to hold it in for a little while, but then he apologised to his mother for sneezing, which was quite cute. Talking about height, I think he's just almost as tall, if not slightly taller than the king himself.
Ah,
really?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at him, yeah, he's almost at the top of the head of the king, if maybe just a smidgen above it.
He's certainly going to be as tall as his dad, then, isn't he?
Oh, it's not. Yeah, of course he is. I mean, he's going to look great.
The number of people on the balcony is sort of Prince William's slightly slimmed down monarchy, isn't it? But still spectacular.
And the King's. I mean, don't forget, the King has always wanted a slimmed down monarchy as well. But yeah, William's is the main person who wants that. And that, what you see there, is the current group of working royals as it should be. You have people always jumping up and down about how many people have been in the balcony in previous years. There's lots of hangers on. Well, the Yorks have gone for a variety of reasons, and you know they pushed aside also the other non-working royals. So this is the nucleus of our royal family. And you've got three youngsters at the end there who are looking as if they'll be stepping in a few years' time to take on royal duties.
Yeah, heck, how time flies.
I was just thinking, I wonder how old Princess Anne is now. She was on horseback yesterday. She's 75.
She's 75. She's 2 years younger than Charles.
2 years younger than Charles, yeah.
Yeah, but we'll never get Anne off horseback.
I don't think so, no, exactly.
I mean, never. The woman...
You wouldn't separate her from a horse. No.
Not in a million years. Charles, really good to see you, as always. And congratulations on your win last night.
That's fantastic.
Yes, of course.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's funny because the weather was so lovely. I was in the garden yesterday afternoon, and we're on the flight path. I live on the flight path often between London. When there's a big display in London, they go back to some of the air bases up in, behind me, Oxfordshire, Gloucestershire, that sort of area. And sure enough, those whacking great big planes came over.
Oh, lovely.
And we were waiting for the red arrows, and they didn't. So they probably went on to somewhere else. They probably had a busy Saturday afternoon yesterday, didn't they?
But you've got your own private flight pass.
We often do. We often get those big Chinooks, coming over. It's absolutely fabulous to watch.
You can imagine they'll be saying, right, we've done the palace now. Where's Anne Diamond?
Yeah, let's go and give her a display.
Honestly, some people get all the luck, don't they? Right, let's see if the weather's going to be nice for you today. Here's Honor.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Showers easing away this morning, leaving lots of bright spells, much lighter winds, so feeling warm where we do see any sunshine. There could be some showers through the early hours of the morning, mostly across northern parts of Scotland, perhaps some very light outbreaks of rain across Northern Ireland, but most of the showers, particularly across Scotland, will be easing away. Plenty of bright spells by the afternoon. Now, we do have quite a lot of cloud across the skies this afternoon. This could be thick enough to produce a very odd light shower, but for most it's dry, settled, feeling warm in the sunshine, particularly across the southwest, also western areas of Scotland, feeling very warm here. Now, through into the evening, there should be plenty of late evening sunshine across parts of Scotland. Mostly light winds, though there is still a bit of a northerly breeze across the Northern Isles, just being picked up across some eastern coasts of Scotland as well. A fine end to the day across Northern Ireland. There's some bits and bobs of cloud still remaining across northern parts of England. Quite a similar picture elsewhere across England and Wales, but it should feel warm in any late evening sunshine. And then through the course of the night, it should still remain mostly dry. A mix of cloud, also some clear skies. Eventually, though, through the early hours of the morning, cloud thickening up across southern parts of Wales, southwest England, perhaps seeing some light showers through the early hours of the morning. It should feel fairly warm across parts of the southwest, southern parts of Wales as well. Quite a warm night to come here, but elsewhere and across much of the country, it's going to be a cooler, fresher start as we head towards the new working week. Now, once again, Monday should be mostly dry, settled, plenty of bright, if not sunny spells, though we do have this band of showers pushing into parts of Wales, southwest England, moving its way northeastwards. This could be heavy at times. We might even hear the odd rumble of thunder. Otherwise, once again, feeling warm in the sunshine. As we head into next week, a fairly similar picture with temperatures increasing day by day.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5.
You got me. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah.
Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace
Saturday nights from 6 p.m, only on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
The Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's Tonight, Late Edition.
Alex Armstrong Tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
29 minutes past 7, and a new landmark report has exposed a national emergency that sheds light on the millions of people carrying a burden in Britain's care system.
They're described as carents. That's adult children caring for their ageing parents and relatives. And they've been pushed, apparently, to breaking point, putting their own health, work, money and relationships at risk.
Well, our Yorkshire and Humber reporter, Anna Riley, went to one carent in Wakefield who's in desperate need of more support.
It's difficult. Yeah, it's difficult. It's a long wait.
A carent at breaking point. Gemma is one of the 4 million adults caring for an elderly relative in Britain. Together with her sister, they look after their dad, who has a lung and heart condition, which has left him struggling to walk. But with a job and a family of her own, the added pressure on Gemma is taking its toll.
We basically take care of everything from cleaning, cooking. I cut Dad's hair once a week. Recently, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. I do worry a lot about Dad, and I'll come and visit him, and I'll come home emotionally, exhausted.
Gemma's dad, Richard, wants to stay at home and appreciates everything his daughters do for him.
I wouldn't be able to have what life I have without the two of them. I'm just pleased they live so close.
The care provided by adults to their parents is worth more than £100 billion a year, but a new report by Carents suggests many are paying for it with their own health, careers and financial security. The Carents organisation found 96% of carents are always on alert. 89% say the care system waits until they're at breaking point, and more than half are ashamed admitting caring for a parent is hard.
Frontline health and care services are struggling to cope with the pressures, which means that carents are filling the gaps already, but will increasingly fill more and more gaps.
Gemma receives support from the carents community, but wants more to be done to recognise carents and their elderly relatives.
I have a 16-year-old. I don't want him to go through what I'm going through now. We need to see change, where there's support for the carents, but for the people who also need the caring. It needs to be invested. It really does. It's at crisis point now. It really is. I'm in it. I see it. I'm together with all those people that are suffering as well.
This Carers Week, it's hoped more support is offered to those carrying the silent weight of Britain's care system. Anna Riley, GB News.
Oh, what
Very
a lovely
hard.
lady. And it's
But you
very
can see
hard,
why
isn't it?
people feel so guilty about saying it's hard to care for a parent.
But of course,
it is. It's not getting away from it.
And I totally your heart goes out to her because she's got a son and she doesn't want him to be a carent himself one day. But what else do you do?
Yeah. It's not that you don't want to do it, but you do need some support, to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you've got any thoughts, any experience of that, we'd love to hear from you this morning. In the meantime, though, Aidan's going to be here in just a moment. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, indeed. We'll round up the rest of the news from the World Cup. And in tennis, Emma Raducanu rolls back the years by reaching the final at Queen's. Join me after the break.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
We can allow.
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Bold.
They are under no illusion.
Ray.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact is Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/your say. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/your say, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Well, we started off with the great news from the World Cup, and here we go again. What else is around? I mean, Scotland did very, very well, only about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, top of the group. Two other teams in the group, of course, Brazil and Morocco. They played out, I would argue, probably the best game of the World Cup so far last night. I thought it was a really decent watch. Morocco outstanding in the first half. Brazil managed to turn it around with a goal with Vinicius Junior, who can just turn it. This is what Scotland have to worry about. He can turn a game, a player like that, in an instant. That's what the world-class players can do. And Brazil have more than a smattering of world-class talent in their side. But nonetheless, it's helped Scotland the fact that they took points off each other. It leaves Scotland top of the group. So we're saying they can get through on 3 points. Well, they've actually got 2 points more than any other side in the group with one game gone. So they're in a decent position. Elsewhere last night, we saw Qatar scoring late on, very late on, to get a point against Switzerland when they looked for all the world as if they were going to be nowhere in that game. But it just shows in the World Cup you don't take your chances. You can succumb to a sting late on in the game, and that's exactly what happened to the Swiss last night. And Australia have just beaten Turkey by 2-0. Again, defended for most of the game, but took their chances, and they're in a good position after the first game. And today, Germany make their debut in this World Cup against Curaçao, and Curaçao make their debut in World Cups full stop. They've not been in a World Cup before, so it's good to see them here. That's what you get with the expanded tournament, a few names you haven't seen before. And Holland played Japan tonight as well, so plenty going on. And this is the thing with the expanded World Cup, the schedule is unrelenting, and it really is. You've got to get these games
all over
somehow.
the place, dotting around all over the USA.
I know, the travel. I mean, Scotland are heading back to Charlotte now, as their base camps. There's a lot of travelling, even if you don't get out of the group, you've got to travel around a lot just to get from your base camp to where the venues are. It's extraordinary, really. That's how it was in USA '94, and you're going across time zones. You could hold a World Cup, if you look at landmass, you could hold a World Cup in one state in America.
Yes, of course you could.
And never mind 3 countries.
What about England's kit, which yesterday we were saying was stolen?
Good news, most of it's turned up. So that's good. There are 2 people in custody. Kansas City State Police Department have intervened regarding it as a very serious offence. I wonder what would happen if that would have happened in England. They wouldn't have had the resources to look at.
Don't say that, please.
To look for the kit. But we hope Harry's boots turned up. There's no confirmation that his boots have turned up, but we think most of it has recovered. So a bit of a comedy story there. But you can see logistically, it would have made a bit of a difference, wouldn't it? But their training today hasn't affected their training schedule. So good news. All's well that ends well, and in tennis as well. Hopefully it'll be all's well that ends well today. Emma Raducanu is in the final today against Donna Vekic of Croatia, who beat Katie Bolter yesterday. She played 2 matches yesterday in one day. Now, it's not uncommon in some of the ATP events, you do get that, but don't forget she was suffering a slight twinge in her thigh because of
Yes, it was all plastered up.
Yes, that's right. It was a slip on the grass. So she did extraordinarily well. She dispatched Kamila Rakimova of Russia 6-3, 7-5. I mean, she didn't drop a set yesterday. It was reminiscent of 2021 when she didn't drop a set all the way through the entire tournament. And if she wins today, it's going to be tough, because Vekic played very well yesterday herself against Bolter, who, by the way, we were talking about yesterday. We didn't barely even mention Raducanu, did we? And if she wins that, but even if she finishes runners-up today, that should give her a better ranking for Wimbledon, in which case you're not going to get those slippery draws in the first couple of...
It's the last thing you want. Sorry, even I couldn't miss that.
Yeah, sorry. You get these tricky draws, I should say, in the first in the first couple of rounds. So we hope that fate doesn't befall her. She can look forward to a good run in the tournament.
I really do.
So. Yeah.
I do hope she does well today. It would be magic, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
It'd lift everybody's spirits again.
Quick mention of the Barcelona-Catalonia Grand Prix as well. George Russell is on pole and Lewis Hamilton in second place. So we await the results of that this afternoon.
Brilliant.
Smashing.
Lovely. All right, Aidan, thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much indeed. Right, still to come, we're going to be going through the newspapers, aren't we? Any second now, yeah, with Kevin and Emma. First of all, though, here's the forecast for some of the top European destinations.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello there. Some showers affecting parts of Spain, otherwise lots of dry weather, lots of warm sunshine, feeling very warm in that sunshine across some areas. Now some showers could turn a bit heavy at times across parts of Spain. We'll also start to see some showers bubbling up through Monday across the Adriatic coastline. But otherwise lots of dry settled weather as high pressure continues, feeling very warm across some inland areas as well. The sunshine is set to continue into next week and temperatures turning quite hot by the end of the week.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Sunday with Michael Portillo from 11, only on GB News.
You're a stripper for nearly 20 years now.
Yeah.
And what you do now has changed. How has it changed and why?
I think beforehand they would book you individually. There would be a lot of stripograms, and that would be bookings for like birthdays, hen parties, and ultimately you would probably be around their house or something like that, or in a small bar. What it's kind of moved into now is more shows. Dream Boys, it's really popular. It's up and down the country, and what you'll find is they'll get 20, 30 girls together and they'll go out and they'll go to the show because they've got the drag queen, they've got the dancers, they've got the stripper, they've got the whole night's entertainment.
Is that because they feel uncomfortable with a stripper, or is it a woke thing? Is it they're concerned about objectifying you because they don't objectify themselves, so why should you be objectified?
I think it could be possibly a bit about... some of them might think if we get them around the house, there might be a person that's uncomfortable with it. Whereas if they book the show, you're free to go to the show or not.
GB News, the People's Channel. GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
Princess Anne and the way that she has brought up her family is really interesting, isn't it? Because, you know, you've got daughter and son who've not taken on royal titles, who've just got on with their lives.
I think now, in retrospect, we can say it was an inspired decision of the Princess Royal, Princess Anne, not to have her husband receive a Grand Peerage title, which meant, of course, that her children would just be plain Mr. and Mrs. Zara is Mrs. Tyndall, he is Mr. Phillips, and that's allowed them actually to have a much more normal life, not being in the necessary glare that attaches when you have the HRH prefix to your name and become a duke or a duchess or whatever. And yes, they have had great lives in the private sector.
GB News, the People's Channel. This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Dorothea served in preparation for D-Day. And Dorothea, how does it feel being here today, joining other veterans?
We suddenly felt that it had been worthwhile giving up our youth, our years as teenagers. No such things existed. You were a child until you were 14 or 16, depending on the year. And after that, OK, you're fit to be killed for the country. And it was naturally assumed that everybody would willingly do their bit for England. And they would have.
GB News, the People's Channel.
I will say loads of you have been in touch about being parents. Too many to go through, but all saying it is really, really hard. And it's not that you resent it, of course you don't, but just acknowledging how difficult it is. And some of the stories you're telling this morning make your hair curl, frankly. So thanks for getting in touch.
OK, but let's have a look through the newspapers. Are we going to go through the front pages?
Yes, let's.
All right, let's. The Sun on Sunday's top headline says, "What a save," referring to England kit that was saved in a van raid.
Sunday Times says the Prime Minister has overruled Ed Miliband on electric car sales targets.
The Observer pays tribute to David Hockney, our English Picasso.
And the Sunday Telegraph has the new Defence Secretary promising a funding boost for Britain's armed forces.
Oh, wouldn't we like to know how he's going to do that?
Yes.
Joining us to look through the papers, then, is political editor of HuffPost UK, Kevin Schofield, and journalist and broadcaster Emma Wolfe. Lovely to see you again. Shall we start, Kevin, with HMRC sneakily overcharging pensioners?
On purpose.
Yeah, so basically they reckon 8.7 million pensioners who pay income tax have been overcharged by an average of £5 each, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you add it up, it's 43.5 million quid that the taxman is getting that they shouldn't be. Now, this is to do with the triple lock, and it's how they calculate your income over the space of a year. And basically, they register your income as actually higher than it actually is, and people end up paying this extra amount. And as you say, they were told about it last August. That's 10 months ago. HMRC, it was flagged with them, and nothing's been done about it. So they know this is going on.
Yeah,
and
how
it's
long
still
has it been
going
on for?
Well, they
don't know.
but they've known about it certainly for almost a year.
Yeah.
And it's still happening.
Well, HMRC have said we apologise to those affected by this calculation error and are working to fix the issue, although the impact is small, with the difference in tax owed being about £5 in most cases. HMRC hopes to solve the problem this summer.
Well,
it might only be a fiver, but it's not
It's the principle, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, if you were
no sense of urgency.
if you were underpaying by a fiver, they'd be on your case.
Exactly. Or if you were paying 5 days late, you'd be getting your fines and all of that.
You know, so it's,
And also, if they're making that much extra revenue, where's it going? What's it being spent on? Is it being spent on anything?
I know. And I think a lot of elderly people find all this stuff, all this online stuff and all telephone banking and paying your tax online and trying to get through to HMRC really baffling. Well, not just elderly people. I mean, have you ever tried to make sense of your electricity and gas bill? They could be overcharging us.
And you would never know.
I do not understand what a kilowatt hour is. Or what?
Yeah, I've got an enormous amount of credit, it's called, and it's because they've been charging me more than I need to. I built it, it's been built up.
Yeah.
When I realised it, I've asked again and again, this is Octopus, by the way, again and again, I want the refund. I am due the refund. Please give it. And they find every way of obfuscating the whole thing.
Because that's the last thing you want to do.
We need to recalculate. I said, you recalculated it last time I rang. And it's a lot of money, and it's not theirs to hold.
I would say it's worth putting that on X to Octopus, because I'm with Octopus as well. They are quite good at coming back to you if you directly say to them, you are not dealing with this.
The issue you've got with that, because I had a similar issue a few years ago when there was about £2,500 in credit.
That's about how much mine is.
And you go, what is going on here? Why have they got that money? But it's because they don't bill you. They don't so when I said I want it back, and it was a palaver, but they said, right, well, we need to then calculate the bill and work out what you owe, and it left me with about £300. It says you owe, this is what you actually owe, so we take that out of the credit, and this is what you've got left.
Or it's that they're taking
it's not all yours. It's not all yours.
Well, I've had them confirm it is, because I've gone through that process already.
So that's
and it was less than I thought.
And also, Stephen, surely they should have been billing you. I mean, you don't want to be left not being billed.
But they only charge you every 6 months or whatever. They only actually they hold the money from you, but they don't actually take it out of from your account for 6 months.
I see.
So it's really confusing.
It's really confusing. Complex.
Then every time you log in, it says you've got all these hundreds or thousands of pounds sitting there, and you think, well, what's this all?
Or the other option is to cancel the direct debit and then just get them to pay it out of the excess that you've got. But it sort of holds you to that company.
It means
you
hopefully, It's not good enough.
It's not on. No,
it's not theirs. And I'm sure lots of other people watching at the moment have got the same situation.
Absolutely, 100%.
And they just deliberately cloud you with words and numbers.
Because they don't want to give you the money back.
Yeah, it's very confusing. Can we have a look at London being scary in the Sunday Telegraph?
Yeah, indeed. So this is Melissa Oderbash, who some of us will know is a swimwear designer. Lots of people won't know that, but she is. She lives in central London with her 2 kids. She's a very high-end sort of swimwear fashion designer. And she's been saying that in London she feels so unsafe out and about that she will not wear expensive watches or jewellery or anything like that. She's talking about how many times she's been out. I know this is first world problems, but how many times she's been out on the streets and had her watches or jewellery ripped off her by thieves she calls them thieves on bicycles. Then she says, I should be the mayor of London. This is the best city in the world, but there are things we need to change. Thieves on bikes are scary. We need to make London great again. And there's been thousands and thousands, up to 5,000 luxury watches have been stolen since January 2022.
And you can't go around moving, showing your mobile phone.
You really shouldn't take out your phone on the street in London. I mean, all of us know that it'll get ripped.
You do that,
yeah.
But that
unfortunately. Well, it
it's
shouldn't
not
be
how
that.
life
It shouldn't be the
Shouldn't be
case.
like that, should it?
No.
Well done, Sadiq Khan, then. Is that what she's saying?
Yeah, and so she's saying basically this is Sadiq Khan's fault, and she's considering standing against him in 2028, which is kind of funny because I don't really see a swimwear fashion designer running as mayor. I mean, why not? Why not? But I'm not sure that she's really thought this one through.
No, I don't.
There's quite a lot of politics involved. It's not just about thieves on bicycles.
Mind you, you don't want to put your budgie smugglers on and get in the sea anytime soon. According to the Daily Star.
Oh, I love it. Great segue, Stephen.
And the budgie smugglers. But yeah, so this is a shark expert who says that great whites could soon be off the coast of Britain. Now, soon, I think, is a little bit elastic there. I'm not entirely sure how soon, because they're normally only spotted Australia, South Africa, in a really warm
So is
waters.
this global warming?
Well, yeah, because remember there was this, a great story actually a couple of weeks ago of the underwater photographer off the coast of Sicily who came across a great white and filmed it, and it was completely unexpected because they shouldn't be there, but because of global warming, they are. And yeah, they could be coming. So just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water.
Yeah. Is this the same global warming that had everyone last week putting their central heating on in mid-June?
Yeah.
Same one.
Aye, yeah. I think they're looking at kind of overall trends, I think, about the Earth getting warmer. But yeah, so, yeah, I mean, the thing is, you don't want to go into the waters in Britain at the moment anyway because of the sewage. So,
exactly.
Sharks won't. Maybe that might keep the sharks away.
Maybe, yes.
Shouldn't we be more worried about the water quality and the fact that the sewage and
I don't know. When's the last time you went paddling off Blackpool? I mean, I'm going to be looking out now in case Jaws starts heading my way.
But we've always had these events where, like, a whale is found in the Thames. Random large mammals.
Yeah, well, that can happen. They can get lost.
They do get lost.
Yeah, but they don't eat you.
They don't eat you.
And it's not unusual for them to be sort of in the waters around Britain. That's them just getting lost and then up in the Thames. But this is, we shouldn't. Our waters should not be warm enough.
What about if you can't get to Wimbledon yourself this season, you can still enjoy the wonderful smell of Wimbledon.
Of cut grass. Can we just have a quick poll in the studio? Do you like the smell? When someone is... Does everyone love the smell of cut grass? It's one of those smells. I don't know why. I love the smell of tar. I love the smell of, pipe smoke. But I cannot stand the smell of cut grass. You know, when they're doing the lawnmowers.
Lovely.
Yeah, I don't know why. I love meadow smells. Anyway, Wimbledon are launching this big... one of these big candles. It's £55. It's got 3 wicks. And, yeah, it's one of these kind of Wimbledon merchandise kind of ideas. They've got diffusers, they've got large Wimbledon candles, the smell of cut grass, fresh cut grass they're called.
Well, it'd be cheaper just to go outside and cut your grass.
I don't think Wimbledon grass smells any differently from normal
No,
grass,
I don't think it does. Right, you two, thank you very much indeed. See you a little bit later.
Time for the weather now with Honor Krizik.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Showers easing away this morning, leaving lots of bright spells, much lighter winds, so feeling warm where we do see any sunshine. There could be some showers through the early hours of the morning, mostly across northern parts of Scotland, perhaps some very light outbreaks of rain across Northern Ireland, but most of the showers, particularly across Scotland, will be easing away. Plenty of bright spells by the afternoon. Now, we do have quite a lot of cloud across the skies this afternoon. This could be thick enough to produce a very odd light shower, but for most it's dry, settled, feeling warm in the sunshine, particularly across the southwest, also western areas of Scotland, feeling very warm here. Now, through into the evening, there should be plenty of late evening sunshine across parts of Scotland. Mostly light winds, though there is still a bit of a northerly breeze across the Northern Isles, just being picked up across some eastern coasts of Scotland as well. A fine end to the day across Northern Ireland. There's some bits and bobs of cloud still remaining across northern parts of England. Quite a similar picture elsewhere across England and Wales, but it should feel warm in any late evening sunshine. And then through the course of the night, it should still remain mostly dry. A mix of cloud, also some clear skies. Eventually, though, through the early hours of the morning, cloud thickening up across southern parts of Wales, southwest England, perhaps seeing some light showers through the early hours of the morning. It should feel fairly warm across parts of the southwest, southern parts of Wales as well. Quite a warm night to come here, but elsewhere and across much of the country, it's going to be a cooler, fresher start as we head towards the new working week. Now, once again, Monday should be mostly dry, settled, plenty of bright, if not sunny spells, though we do have this band of showers pushing into parts of Wales, southwest England, moving its way northeastwards. This could be heavy at times. We might even hear the odd rumble of thunder. Otherwise, once again, feeling warm in the sunshine as we head into next week, a fairly similar picture with temperatures increasing day by day.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
There's just 2 weeks left to grab a chance to live the summer of your dreams.
With a totally tax-free £76,543.21 in tax-free cash to be won.
Someone really has to win it, and it could be you.
For a chance to win, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way.
You will not want to miss it, trust me. The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Okoye, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it? Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
News is completely unique in the way that we interact with our viewers.
Our audience aren't afraid to have their say. They want their voices heard now, and they've got a channel where that can happen.
I find more and more as I'm wandering around, people come up to me and they say, "We saw you on television." I say, "Oh yes, on what?" "On GB News."
Hello, are you the famous Sue? The whole crew with me here now. We came to celebrate.
It's our job to be the eyes and ears of the viewers.
They are part of the GB News family, and I'm pleased to say it's a very large family.
And if people go to the time and trouble of listening and watching, then we've got to do a good job for them.
Well, I'm here right in the epicentre of the protest.
Here we go again. You just tuned in. Where have you been?
It is raucous here tonight.
That's what makes us the fearless champion of Britain.
Good morning to you. It is victory for Scotland in the World Cup as they beat Haiti in their opening game of the tournament.
There were scenes of jubilation as John McGinn secured the nation's first World Cup win in 36 years.
Yes, it was a rearguard action at times for Steve Clarke's side, but they were helped as Group C rivals Brazil were held by Morocco earlier in the day in New Jersey. It means Scotland are now top of the group. And in tennis, Emma Raducanu rolls back the years by reaching today's final at Queen's.
Nigel Farage pledges to evict foreign nationals from council housing, prioritising veterans and local residents.
And that comes as brand new analysis claims that more than 100,000 failed asylum seekers are feared to be living in the UK illegally because they've not been deported.
President Trump has said a peace deal between the US and Iran will be signed today, reopening the Strait of Hormuz.
Could a peace deal be the perfect birthday present for the president? Because he is 80 today. What's he got planned for the occasion, I wonder?
The Defence Secretary Dan Jarvis says he'll get British Armed Forces the funds they need, urging the government to meet the moment.
And that comes as British Armed Forces intercept a Russian Shadow Fleet oil tanker in the English Channel in the early hours of this morning, in what could be an early test, maybe, for our new Defence Secretary.
Hello there, good morning. A dry, settled day ahead with some sunny spells, but perhaps a bit more cloud than what we saw yesterday. Stay tuned and I'll be here with all the details.
It's just gone 8 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Anne Diamond, and this is GB News Breakfast.
How nice on a Sunday morning, a sunny Sunday morning, to be able to start with really great news. And overnight, Scotland have defeated Haiti 1-0 in their opening World Cup match at Boston Stadium.
Yeah, and the amazing thing is it's their first World Cup win in 36 years. GB News presenter Ben Leo has been in Boston for us.
Tens of thousands of Scotland fans have made their way over to the United States for this tournament. So much so that one flight yesterday from Edinburgh, they sold out of booze completely on the plane. All the spirits, all the beer had gone courtesy of the Tartan Army. We caught up with one fan a second ago who was in the stadium for that emphatic 1-0 win. And I've got one delighted Scotland fan with me now. How was it, 1-0? How are you feeling?
It was absolutely superb. John McGinn is going to win the Ballon d'Or. Scotland are going to win the World Cup. And we're going to drink your ales.
And you were in the stadium?
I was there, yes, I was.
What was it like, the atmosphere, when McGinn scored that opening goal?
Oh, here we go. It was absolutely superb. One of, if not the best I was in. It was, words can't describe it.
And how much did you pay to come here? Because there's lots of talk about it being the most expensive World Cup ever. Did that come into your mind at all?
Yeah, did I? Because the Americans charged us £540 a ticket. Like, come on.
Is that what you paid, $540?
$540, aye. Don't tell my mum that.
That's hefty, but it's got. Is it worth it after tonight?
Oh yeah, of course it was, aye. We're top of the group. Brazil who?
And you've got Morocco next Friday. That could be your route into the next round.
Yeah, 1 point does it. Really, 1 point does it. It's perfect, and we will get it. Come on, Scotland.
And just very quickly, the celebrations behind us.
Yeah.
Late into the night. How long are you staying out?
As long as they'll have us.
Is that as long as they'll have us?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
As long as you keep paying, they'll be happy for it. Keep buying the pints. Aidan's here. I mean, take us through the detail.
Yeah, look, John McGinn scored after 28 minutes, and that settled everybody down. It was a terrific shot from outside the box. He's one of the players as well. He's done very well for Aston Villa in the last few years. He's really come into his own for Scotland as well. He's not the only one. Scott McTominay was past fit. He was particularly good as well. But it was a bit of a rearguard action, as I said. They were a little bit nervy at times. When you haven't won a match for 36 years in a World Cup finals, it can be difficult to, once you get in front, to hold on. And Haiti were no mugs. Andy Robertson made the point afterwards, who is a Champions League winner and a Premier League winner, that while the fans may have thought Haiti were an easy proposition, the players didn't see it that way. Let's bring in Paul Goodman, shall we, who is the co-founder of the Scottish Football Association, and he's on the Tartan Rally bus in New York. Paul, a very warm welcome to you on GB News. Now, listen, I want you to tell me, just cast your mind back a few hours, what was the atmosphere like where you are the moment John McGinn's strike hit the net?
And it was fantastic and just really, really exciting. I mean, we've waited a long time, as you said, and to get that feeling, just tremendous. Stadium was buzzing right from the start, and then, the ball hit the net, roofed them off. Oh, there wasn't a roof, but never mind. It was great.
I noticed you're wearing a shirt from the 1986 World Cup. I mean, you only have to go 4 years on from that for the last time Scotland won a game against Sweden. What was the kind of relief, the sense of the release of tension when that goal went in? Did it feel great? I imagine it did.
Yeah, listen, I think there was a lot of tension throughout the whole game. They looked nervous. Fans felt nervous. I think there's a lot going in this game. We know that this was a game we really had to win. So there's a chance to everybody. And listen, we've fallen up so many times in the past, but at least tonight we saw it through. That's the main thing.
And you mentioned how important it was to win. Did you feel the pressure was on in this game? Because I felt personally that it was one you had to win.
Yeah, no, undoubtedly. And I think it came across from the players as well. I mean, they just weren't as cohesive as they've been in the last few games, and I think there was a nervous what's the whole stadium. But they got through it. That's the main thing, and that's not something that many Scotland teams have done at World Cups. So we're all celebrating tonight. That's for sure. This morning, the food set.
Now, my colleague Ben Leo was just talking to some of the fans on the ground there in Boston. Some of the prices the fans had to pay to get into the ground were obscene. I mean, £540 we've heard quoted. What have you made of the cost of following Scotland, or indeed the cost for any supporter following their country at this World Cup?
Listen, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. It's like no other World Cup has ever been. And hopefully it's not going to be as bad as this in the future. It's just corporate greed has gone crazy. So many people have tried to mitigate the costs, but the bottom line is, if you want to be here and you want to see your team, you're going to have to find a way to cover the costs. But I think there was a lot of people that are around here that I know. There were a lot of people here, and I just think the costs, just out of control. Really.
And how far do you think you can go in this tournament, Paul?
Now that's a big question. Listen, get out of it. I'd be happy for us to get out of it. I've waited a long time. The very first tournament I watched, it was 1974.
Listen, Paul, it's great to hear from you this morning. The line's interrupting just a little bit. We'll have to let you go, but I hope your friend behind you wakes up in time for the Morocco game on Friday. Best of luck to you. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Lovely stuff.
There's a few people having a kip.
Well,
they've earned it, haven't they?
What time is it over there now?
Don't know.
New York, 3 o'clock in the morning.
I was surprised it was quiet on the bus. I thought it'd still be going.
Well, the quality of the line wasn't very good, but then you just don't need, if you miss one word, it doesn't matter. How thrilled they all are.
Yeah, that's
great.
Which is brilliant.
All right, Aidan, thanks very much indeed. See you later.
Now, Nigel Farage has announced that he would evict foreign nationals from council housing.
Yeah. Under his plans, migrants would be given 3 months to find private accommodation or be deported.
Instead, veterans and long-term local residents will be given priority, along with domestic abuse survivors and caregivers.
Let's talk to political commentator Jennifer Powers. What do you make of it, Jennifer? I mean, it's pretty hardline, but you can imagine it's going to be popular with a lot of voters.
Well, we wake up to Reform really hardening their position on immigration as they face the threat to their right from Restore Britain. And as you say, Stephen, this is quite an escalation in terms of their policy on immigration and housing, becoming a lot more hardline, and also, tending a little bit toward that ethno-nationalist line, which will be concerning for some parts of the public when it talks about ties to the area, how long-standing do those ties need to be? Who does that advantage or disadvantage? And does that have an ethnic or racial element? So I think it will be controversial, but I also think amongst a segment of the population, as you say, it will be popular. And we've seen a couple of polls in the last few weeks that show Restore getting between 5 and 7%, which you may say, okay, that's quite small, but actually, for a lot of seats at a general election, that can make a big difference between Reform winning those seats and not. So,
and is that the game you think they're going to play if there were a snap general election quite soon? That there would be constantly they'd be trying to block somebody else from winning a seat.
Wow, they're going to be
necessarily winning it themselves.
Well, indeed, they're going to be increasingly squeezed if Restore continue to rack up supporters, at least in the opinion polls. Of course, Reform will say the only poll that matters is the ballot box. So we have to wait until that's tested. But yes, Reform is living what the Conservatives have lived previously, which is being squeezed on both their right and at the centre, and trying to tread that path for maximum impact and support. And this morning we have that hardening of their position with regard specifically to the tenure of social housing, and saying that there'd be this 3-month grace period after which foreign nationals would need to find private housing or face deportation, which is quite strict.
I mean, it's interesting, though, because they talk about prioritising veterans and long-term local residents, as you say. I mean, it's quite how you describe a long-term local resident. It's hard to say at the moment.
Well, so somebody who's been on the waiting list for a certain time?
Don't know.
Yeah, possibly.
But the issue is what that's tapping into is the idea that we have, I mean, particularly on the veterans issue. I mean, obviously armed forces very much in the headlines at the moment, is this idea that we're not looking after our own, we're not looking after those people who commit everything to the country.
Well, indeed, and what a week for that in terms of the resignation of the Defence Secretary and John Healey and the junior minister, Al Carnes, who, Al Carnes in particular, in his resignation letter, wrote very powerfully, very eloquently about the responsibility that the nation owes to veterans, and his disquiet and discomfort with the Veterans Bill that's been, promulgated and promoted by Lord Hermer, the Attorney General. So, you raise a really valid point, Stephen, in terms of tapping into that concern amongst veterans and others in the population, feeling that, they're left out on a limb, whether that be in terms of prosecution from the time they might have spent in Northern Ireland, on the one hand, which I appreciate is only happening to a handful of individuals, but, for them, really quite seismic, through to the day-to-day struggle to find housing and, in some cases, find work and the, health support they may need after serving in the armed forces. So this isn't a real issue for so many in the country.
I wonder if there were a general election before the natural time for it, whether we would go in the way of certain other European countries where our politics, the political parties you're invited to vote for, much more fragmented. I mean, it used to just be one party or the other or something.
Yes.
And then maybe a couple in the middle that you would consider, but only as a protest vote.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people, I think, will be swimming around wondering, really, who do they really want to vote for?
It's an extraordinary evolution. I mean, I remember when I was doing my university degree many years ago, and you learn about, as you do probably at A levels, you learn about the different electoral systems, and you learn about proportional representation and how that provides a multi-party system, and that's the case in most of the continent and places like Israel, who have a very have a list system. And yeah, as you say, you learn about the fact that it's generally a two-party system or a 2.5-party system, with the Liberal Democrats or SNP or in Scotland, for instance. And we have managed this extraordinary feat in this country of still having first past the post, so we don't have proportional representation, at least for general elections. We do in some of the mayoral and elections and so on. But we've maintained this first past the post for general elections, and yet we have developed this multi-party system where now we have not just 3 parties, but we have 4, 5, 6, 7 in some cases. When you bring in not just Labour, Lib Dems and the Conservatives, but you've got Reform, you've got the Greens, you've got Restore now, and of course you've got the Nationalists in Wales and Scotland. And, of course, Northern Ireland viewers will know very well that there's, different parties at play over in Northern Ireland. So here we have this very, very unusual situation. And what that means is that, yes, there's more choice. For voters, but also it makes it incredibly hard to predict. So it's not often we spare a thought for the pollsters, but for them to be able to predict what's going to happen in terms of seats is nearly impossible.
Yes, but it also means that they in many cases will be asking us, the voters, to vote tactically, whereas normally you would be expected to vote for who you wanted to get that seat or become Prime Minister or whatever. This time we may be more and more asked to vote him and you'll get him, or that will keep Labour out.
There'll be lots of messaging. Absolutely, you can almost envisage the leaflets now coming through your letterbox saying, it's despite the 5 or 6 or 12 candidates in this election.
That's not what democracy really is about.
Well, it's meant to be. It's a version. It's a version of it that we are having to get used to, I suppose. But yeah, it will make it more difficult to vote tactically, certainly in some seats, because if you don't want someone in, like you don't want Labour to remain in power, or, for instance, if you didn't want Reform to form a government, then you would have to decide, who is your best bet to put your vote to keep them out, and that might be more tricky. So, yes, it will make, I suppose, political commentary in some ways more interesting, and it will provide perhaps more drama on the days after an election as we look to see how the results fall. But as you say, it is very different from what's gone on in previous decades.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, just back on the defence issue slightly. We're planning a trip to America next year. And the one thing we've said is, with my other half, don't forget your veterans card. Because even in the States, with a British veteran...
You get discounts.
You get discounted. You get treated differently.
Yeah.
You don't carry it about in this country because it doesn't make any difference.
That's fascinating.
But it's really interesting. I just think it's a really interesting point that over here, be a veteran, it doesn't count for anything. Go to America, and even being a British Army veteran.
See, I didn't know that. I obviously I know about what America does and how it treats its veterans, but I didn't realise that would count for British veterans as well. That's really interesting. Yes, I mean, when you're in the US, they will call veterans as a special category if they wish to board early.
Yes.
So that's something you'll come across. But it goes beyond that. It could be 5 or 10% off your meal at restaurants, which adds up if you're going on a 2-3 week holiday.
We don't do a British version of it, do we?
We don't. We're getting it so wrong with our armed forces, aren't we? Somehow.
And actually, veterans, I think, and those who serve are celebrated and sort of honoured very publicly in a way that they're not here. So, for instance, if you go to a big sporting event in the United States, the announcer will actually call out, today, we thank all members of the armed services and veterans in the audience. Can everyone have a round of applause? Sometimes they ask them to stand. Maybe in Britain that would be uncomfortable. People would find it a bit performative. It is maybe more culturally American. However, when you speak to veterans, they do appreciate the fact that they are valued and that they're, given some additional benefits for their sacrifice.
Yeah, I think it's quite right.
It's only a state of mind, and I think we should try and steer ourselves back towards that.
Yeah.
Being proud of the people. It would help us all, I think, being proud of the people who actually do put sometimes
well, not
their lives on the line.
because there's a real issue with recruitment for the armed forces. And, part of that comes back to the fact that people don't see it as an attractive vocation. Maybe people would, verbally attack them. We have protesters, breaking in and trashing, military bases. It's not perhaps seen as having that status that it does in the US.
Yeah, it's not everything about the United States I agree with, but
that is what they do get right. And you feel it as well. I've experienced it too. And it's amazing.
Yeah. All right, Jennifer, good to see you. Thank you very much indeed.
Pleasure, as always.
Do we have to give this? Yes, this is about Nigel Farage's deportation plans. Let me just tell you that a government spokesman said, in response, illegal migrants, asylum seekers and migrants on student or work visas are not eligible for social housing. Nearly 9 in 10 social homes go to UK nationals, and most councils have tough local connections rules in place to ensure that housing goes to the people who need it most.
Right, coming up to 8:20, and British Armed Forces have intercepted a Russian Shadow Fleet oil tanker in the Channel in the early hours of this morning, apparently. Sir Keir Starmer confirmed that Royal Marine Commandos and specially trained officers boarded the vessel, supported by the RAF. It will now be held and monitored off the south coast of England.
Well, the new Defence Secretary has said he is determined to get the armed forces the funding they need after his predecessor quit over Labour's military spending plans. Dan Jarvis urged the government to meet the moment when it comes to the challenge of increasing defence spending.
And President Trump has said a peace deal between the US and Iran will be signed today to end the fighting and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's foreign ministry has said Tehran is cautious in commenting on the signing date.
And of course, it is the US President's 80th birthday today. He's celebrating by staging a night of cage fighting on the South Lawn as part of celebrations marking his 250th anniversary of US independence. The event is dubbed UFC Freedom 250, and it will blend sport with political spectacle and music. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared for that.
You weren't prepared for cage fighting.
Cage fighting. That's new and different, isn't it?
It's a bit odd to be doing it on the lawn of the White House.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that. That really took me aback, but there you go.
You might like it, though, Anne.
It'll be interesting.
It's a sweaty men grappling around.
Horrible, but if that's the way you want to do it, President Trump, happy birthday anyway.
Right, let's have a look at the weather with Anna.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Showers easing away this morning, leaving lots of bright spells, much lighter winds, so feeling warm where we do see any sunshine. There could be some showers through the early hours of the morning, mostly across northern parts of Scotland, perhaps some very light outbreaks of rain across Northern Ireland, but most of the showers, particularly across Scotland, will be easing away. Plenty of bright spells by the afternoon. Now, we do have quite a lot of cloud across the skies this afternoon. This could be thick enough to produce a very odd light shower, but for most it's dry, settled, feeling warm in the sunshine, particularly across the southwest, also western areas of Scotland, feeling very warm here. Now, through into the evening, there should be plenty of late evening sunshine across parts of Scotland. Mostly light winds, though there is still a bit of a northerly breeze across the Northern Isles, just being picked up across some eastern coasts of Scotland as well. A fine end to the day across Northern Ireland. There's some bits and bobs of cloud still remaining across northern parts of England. Quite a similar picture elsewhere across England and Wales, but it should feel warm in any late evening sunshine. And then through the course of the night, it should still remain mostly dry. A mix of cloud, also some clear skies. Eventually, though, through the early hours of the morning, cloud thickening up across southern parts of Wales, southwest England, perhaps seeing some light showers through the early hours of the morning. It should feel fairly warm across parts of the southwest, southern parts of Wales as well. Quite a warm night to come here, but elsewhere and across much of the country, it's going to be a cooler, fresher start as we head towards the new working week. Now, once again, Monday should be mostly dry, settled, plenty of bright, if not sunny spells, though we do have this band of showers pushing into parts of Wales, southwest England, moving its way northeastwards. This could be heavy at times. We might even hear the odd rumble of thunder. Otherwise, once again, feeling warm in the sunshine as we head into next week, a fairly similar picture with temperatures increasing day by day.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air, gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts,
5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah.
Uncensored.
Very, very racist tonight on the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that, because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Needs to
stop.
You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you. Bulletins on GB News,
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Now, it's 26 minutes past 8, and although it's the middle of the night, obviously, in Washington, D.C., the President will be waking up this morning and marking his 80th birthday.
Yeah, that's quite something, isn't it? In the White... He can't be the first president to mark his 80th in the White House. There have been some older presidents in the past, haven't there? I don't know. Anyway, the celebrations going ahead are definitely different than maybe a lot of previous presidents might have done.
Yes. There's going to be a cage fight, actually, on the White House South Lawn tonight, which is...
Unusual.
It's unusual. It's a bit controversial, but, you know, it's his birthday.
Yeah.
It's his party.
It'll be spectacular, of course. But he is a different president and he does things in different ways, my goodness. We're joined by the author of Trump 2, Why He Won, and he's Tim Hames. Good morning. Just hearing that news, Tim, I suppose, you know, you've studied President Trump for many years. Probably doesn't surprise you that he's doing something extraordinarily different.
Yeah, I mean, he's always the combination of the surreally strange but the curiously compelling, in that much of the media coverage today is going to be about a cage fight, with a sort of afterthought of, oh, and there may have been a deal with Iran as well, which is just kind of mad, but thoroughly him. He's only the second president to turn 80 in office. Joe Biden was the first. So it will be a spectacle like no other. But that's kind of the Trump story.
Yeah, but why has he always been so controversial?
Well, he had a very curious family upbringing. His father, and if you think, anyone out there who thinks that Donald Trump is a sort of nasty piece of work, the father was far, far worse, let me tell you. His father was a pretty successful New York property developer, but he specialized in kind of middle to lower status buildings, whereas Donald Trump kind of, from a very young age, kind of rebelled against that and wanted to be big and bold and beautiful with buildings and have the name Trump in gold across wherever he stood. And he wasn't actually lined up to be the heir to his father's empire. There was an older son, Fred Trump Jr., but Fred Trump Jr. didn't want to be part of the family business. He wanted to be an airline pilot, and he became an airline pilot. And his father regarded that with total contempt and basically threw him out the family. And Donald, by the age of his early 20s, was made the heir apparent to the Trump property empire.
It is often said by those who don't really like Donald Trump that, you know, he claims to have made all these amazing deals and be self-made. That's where all his money has come from, himself. But a lot of people say, oh, no, he was given a fortune from his father. Has it been an easy road for him, or is he really self-made?
Well, as ever with Donald, it's a combination of both. It is true that he started his business career with what he describes as a small loan from his father, that small loan being the better part of $10 million and it not being immediately clear if it was ever repaid. So on the one hand, there is that side to him. On the other hand, he's been extraordinarily good at inventing and reinventing himself, both within business and within politics. After all, this is a man who's been a Republican, changed his allegiance to the Reform Party, for 8 years was a registered Democrat, became a Republican again, became an independent, and has become a Republican. He's actually had twice as many political parties, 6, as he's had wives.
Yeah, well, but part of the interest in him, I mean, way before the politics, of course, was his wives, and an interesting love life, as it were. Because, I mean, obviously his wives end up being as much in the spotlight as he does.
Well, I suppose it's only 3, which by Hollywood standards is quite modest. But part of the persona, the thing about Donald Trump is he's been a master of a moving media landscape. So back in the late 70s, early 80s, when New York tabloid newspapers really sold millions of copies and really made the weather, he worked out how to manipulate them so that he was a constant feature of it. He then published a business book, The Art of the Deal, which was basically the biggest selling business book of all time at the time he did it. He then moved into TV via the American version of The Apprentice. He was then the first kind of semi-political figure to really embrace what was then Twitter as a medium of communication. So he's constantly moved ahead of the curve, if you like.
In that sense, is it all about brand? I mean, it's I don't know if I can say it, but to coin a phrase, is he all fur coat and no knickers?
Well, those two suggestions are quite different, aren't they? I mean, much of life, let's face it, is all about brand. It's just that on the whole, politicians are rather bad at actually creating brands that kind of stick around them, because most of the time, the nature of politics is you do things very safely. You don't court controversy. You have a croquet match on your 80th birthday. You don't have a cage fight. And there's an appreciation Donald Trump, after all, has come to politics very late in life. I mean, he didn't stand for public office until 2016. So getting on after his 70th birthday, that you do things. If you want to be different, you have to be different.
What can you explain the enigma, maybe, that it is their marriage at the moment? Sometimes they seem to be very close and supporting each other really well. Other times, not so much. I mean, what's going on?
I could earn an awful lot of money if I could give you an absolute precise answer to that question. A lot of people assume when he lost office in 2000 that the marriage would end, but it hasn't. They largely seem to live separate lives that sort of interconnect from time to time. They're the first presidential couple since John and Jackie Kennedy to have separate bedrooms within the White House complex. I don't know what you read into that. But, whatever the arrangement is, it seems to work perfectly well for both of them.
Yeah. Oh, well.
And how is he, health-wise, do you think? I mean, you've watched him over many years. Do you think there are any signs of him just getting a bit too old for the job, or is he managing well?
Well, you certainly have to say that in terms of his immediate mental capacity, he seems to be in considerably better nick than Joe Biden was when he hit 80.
Yeah, but that's a low bar, isn't it?
It is quite a low bar. In fact, some would say it's not a bar at all. It's barely a floor. But nonetheless, I think he clearly kind of, his style is not to memorize a huge amount of detail, it's to operate on instinct and intuition. And otherwise, you know, he's a tribute to what you can achieve in a diet of McDonald's and no alcohol.
Yeah. Let's hope for us all. Tim, thank you very much indeed. Good to see you this morning. It is fascinating because he's controversial. He's always been controversial, and yet there's something about the straight talking
sometimes
which
he's
has an
spot
appeal.
on, isn't he? When he answers journalist questions, sometimes he's absolutely spot on a wide variety of subjects, and other times not so much.
No, and then it's when the thing that gripes me is when he then insults people who ask questions he doesn't like.
That must have been what it's like to try and do a commercial deal with him. He probably thumps the table, gets really loud-mouthed, and storms off. And you're left there sitting there. Have we got a deal or haven't we? I don't know. I've come across businessmen like that, and that's obviously how he operates.
Yeah. But then again, if someone, you know, in effect running the world, did he ever get there by being a nice man?
That's
I don't know.
a very good question.
Don't know. Anyways, he's there. He's got the presidency twice, so he's doing something right.
Just get that ballroom finished, President Trump,
yes.
before somebody pulls it down.
Yes, yeah. Anyway, look, let's talk money, should we? Love talking money when it's giving it away, especially when it's this much. £76,543.21, which could be yours. Here's how you take part.
There's just 2 weeks left to make your summer sensational, as we're giving you the chance to win a simply stunning £76,543.21 in tax-free cash. That's cash that could go towards family treats, spectacular summer days out, or give you the chance to chill out and relax somewhere like here, the Imperial Island Resort in Paphos. You really could be our next big winner with a whopping £76,543.21 in your bank. But hurry, there's just 2 weeks remaining.
For a chance to win £76,543.21 in tax-free cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Best of luck to you.
What's coming up in sports? Aidan.
Lots going up, and we'll be looking back on all the news from the rest of the World Cup. And in tennis, Emma Raducanu rolls back the years by reaching the final at Queen's. Join me after the break.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it?
No,
Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way. You will not want to miss it, trust me.
The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, you didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Time for the sport this morning. We've talked, obviously, about Scotland already. What else is going on in the World Cup? Because, I mean, the nice thing about Scotland is, whereas they were perhaps perceived as being a little bit underdog yesterday, they're now top of the group.
They are indeed, yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, let's look at the other two teams in their group as well. Highly fancied side, Brazil, of course, as they always are every tournament. They've got a smattering of world-class players, but they can only draw. And against Morocco yesterday, Morocco were outstanding in the first half. Even in the second half, I thought Morocco could nick it. And for Scotland's benefit, they have, well, not for Scotland's benefit, but it certainly benefits Scotland that they took points off each other, and that leaves Scotland at the top of the group. Also, with the expanded format of 48 teams or 48 countries, the games come thick and fast. And so yesterday we saw Qatar snatch a late equaliser against Switzerland to get a point. They didn't look like doing that the whole game, but this is football. You defend the whole game, you defend properly, and you get one chance and you take it. That's the essence of sport, isn't it? We saw Australia this morning, our time anyway, beat Turkey 2-0, similar kind of thing. They defended well, took their chances. And tonight we've got Germany in action against Curaçao. It's the first game in this tournament for Germany, a first game in World Cup history for Curaçao, and Netherlands face Japan tonight as well. That's going to be a really decent game because I fancy Japan in this tournament for the first time in years. I think they've got the players to really do some damage. I think that the climate and the time zone will suit them more than most other teams.
But if you were out there covering it,
yes,
you would have to fly from city to city to city all the time.
Yeah, you would. I mean, I remember it was before my time, but I remember older colleagues of mine covering USA 94, and it was really, really hard going. And that's without England even being there. Most of them were seconded at the time to cover, in the absence of England, to cover the Republic of Ireland. But there were all sorts of stories. I've just written a piece, actually, about the madness of the 1994 World Cup. We had Diana Ross missing the goal from a penalty in the opening ceremony. we had Oprah Winfrey tripping up on stage. We had the cut from the first match, the cut from that to the O.J. Simpson white Ford Bronco chase.
Wow.
And it was football arriving in the United States that day, overshadowed once again indirectly by NFL, because of course O.J. Simpson was a very celebrated NFL player. You had Andre Escobar, the Colombia player who was shot dead on arrival back to Colombia because he scored an own goal. And you had Maradona being sent home for using ephedrine. The performance-enhancing drug, which was, and it was just story after story after story. The fact is, though, Anne, FIFA still, in spite of everything, could not wait to get back there because they made so much money, and that's what they're going to do this time.
I suppose they are at the moment.
They are. You've heard some of the prices. I mean, they weren't. It wasn't £540 to get into a game in 2004. I can assure you. Pleased to say that most of England's World Cup gear has turned up. Which is good. It means they can train. Harry Kane's boots were feared to have been lost. Two suspects have been taken into custody by Kansas City Police Department, so they're on the case. And we must talk about Emma Raducanu at the tennis, because it looked as if a thigh injury when she slipped on the grass might scupper her plans or her hopes of winning.
Yeah, she had some time out, didn't she? And everybody sort of said, "Oh, here we go again." But no, she played magnificently.
Absolutely, yeah, and reminiscent of 2021 and the US Open when she got to the final. In fact, won the whole thing without even losing a set. But yesterday she beat Kamia Rakimova 6-3, 7-5, the Russian, before following up that with a win over the US teenager Iva Jovic, 6-2, 6-2. Today she's up against Donna Vekic of Croatia And we hope she can get it done, because if she can do that, then even if she finishes runners-up today, which is the least she could do, she might get a favourable draw in the next round for Wimbledon, and that will help her because she's had so many tricky assignments early on in previous Wimbledons, and it's curtailed her chances before her campaign even got going. And she's back with her original coach from 2021 as well, Andrew Richardson, which is obviously proving to her advantage.
Yeah,
so,
it would seem to be.
Pile the pressure on and wish her really good luck.
Exactly, and we've got the Barcelona Catalan Grand Prix as well. Lewis Hamilton second, George Russell of Mercedes on pole. So we'll see how that plays out as well.
Lovely. All right, Aidan, thank you very much indeed.
It's all going on. Right, we're going to be looking through the papers, though, next with Kevin and Emma. First of all, though, they, like you, like me, want to know what the European weather is doing.
Dinner under the stars tonight?
That reminds me of our travel insurance.
You mean all clear skies?
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
Hello there. Some showers affecting parts of Spain, otherwise lots of dry weather, lots of warm sunshine, feeling very warm in that sunshine across some areas. Now, some showers could turn a bit heavy at times across parts of Spain. We'll also start to see some showers bubbling up through Monday across the Adriatic coastline. But otherwise, lots of dry, settled weather as high pressure continues, feeling very warm across some inland areas as well. The sunshine is set to continue into next week and temperatures turning quite hot by the end of the week.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
I'm a bit worried about the future of the biscuit because it seems that people aren't really drinking tea in this country anymore. And I think you really need a cup of tea with a biscuit, but we're all coffee drinkers these days.
Yeah, I mean, this might be a bit controversial, but I like a cup of coffee with a biscuit. But so I think it's fine. I think it's just, you know, things can kind of develop and change, and that's okay. But I think what doesn't change is that biscuits are such a sort of important part of the kind of bedrock of our culture. I mean, we eat more biscuits as a nation than any other nation by some margin. So, you know, and I think they're about sharing and connection as well. You know, that people taking a bit of time out, you know, for tea and biscuits or coffee and biscuits. You know, that's part of what it's all about.
GB News, the People's Channel. Good afternoon, Britain. Weekdays from midday.
Clearly, it's a terrible loss of revenue for Mr. Bezos there, but you know, I guess it's part and parcel of the move forward to try to determine what possible anomalies there are.
Yes, it's part of the game, unfortunately, in rocketry and spaceflight in general. It was actually going to launch 48 satellites for Amazon next week, which obviously isn't going to happen. More serious than that, though, however, is the damage that's been caused to the launch site.
So what? We can't do anything when we get to any of these planets anyway. We're just out there going, hey, and then we come back.
No. We could do an awful lot of work. There's a lot of research work to be done on the surface of the moon by scientists who can look at the evolution and development of the solar system, the evolution of the Earth, how the Earth actually formed initially.
GB News, the People's Channel. GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
And I've been an oncologist consultant for over 45 years, so I've seen it all. When we started 45 years ago, everybody got chemotherapy after getting a diagnosis of breast cancer if there was to reduce the risk of it coming back. And then what we've seen over the years, and this is really the culmination of years of effort, tests that predict what's going to happen. They analyze the molecular composition of the cancer, very sophisticated analysis based on DNA and genes to predict what's going to happen. So only the women that are at the highest risk actually need to have the chemotherapy. And everyone is really delighted with this British trial in London's University College Hospital. What the trial showed is that once you actually get the diagnosis from this sophisticated test, you don't need to have chemotherapies.
GB News.
Right, we're going through the papers with Kevin and Emma. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can we have a look, Kevin, at middle-class moms in the Mail on Sunday?
I love this story. Tell us more.
I feel targeted.
So there's been an epidemic, apparently, of shoplifting from garden centres, but not just little things. It's like significant individual thefts of up to £6,000 worth of stuff. So they're saying it's not just say minor things, but you get also wax jackets, scented candles, designer soft toys, because apparently the way they're designed, if you think about it, they are quite susceptible. They're wide open.
Yes.
And
and far away.
And far away.
Right
Yeah,
down the
absolutely.
lines
Yeah, you're well away from the
prying eyes,
hills and stuff, so you can just.
And it's the cars, isn't it? The middle-aged mums in cars.
In cars, exactly.
Backing in to do whatever and then loading.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
I think that was the.
I remember going around a garden centre once and seeing there was a lady ahead of me, and she had a shopping basket of it, and she was taking cuttings as she went. And I remember thinking, I wonder if I should say something.
That's very naughty.
She was very sneaky, but she was taking cuttings of lots of plants she was interested in.
In a way,
very
you sort of think, yeah, the plant will regrow, but that's
She wasn't
naughty.
picking the plant.
No, but she was.
But garden centres are quite a thing, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
My wife loves a garden centre.
I mean, you can they're a real kind of weekend thing that people do. I was talking to the security guard in one of our local supermarkets, and they had these huge plants. He said today and yesterday we've sold 20 pallets of this. People now really want the really big. They looked beautiful, but
for an immediate transformation.
You immediately put them out in your garden, or you put them by your front door, and they look amazing. The really big ones,
well, you
not
don't
little.
Plant it either because it's already there.
They're in big pots.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get them home from the supermarket.
Well, I don't know how you...
Not on your bike.
Well, yeah, that's the point.
How you steal those, I would have thought.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, but they're outside the supermarket often, so they can be easily stolen.
If you're brazen enough.
This lovely weather, Emma, at the moment, why is it making us gloomy, according to the Mail on Sunday?
Well, this is a big study, and it's a credible study, and it's really sad. We all think a sunny day lifts the mood, doesn't it? This is a big study of 270,000 Brits over 12 years, and experts have found that actually too much sun exposure more than 90 minutes a day is actually really not good at all for your mental health. It may encourage depression and even dementia. Obviously, you don't go out in the sun for 90 minutes a day. You wear sunscreen. But even being out in the sun safely, with sort of safe coverage, could be really bad because of mood changes, because of inflammation, because of exposure to your head and your neck and your head. Really, really not good for you.
They're not all miserable when I go to Spain. They're all having a lovely time.
Well, that's what I thought. They should do a survey of expats in Spain and see whether these levels of mental health and depression and dementia are much higher. But they say it's not good to be out for more than that. Not good to be out and about in the sun.
This explains, though, Kevin, why Scots are always so joyous and full of life.
I was just
the miserable weather.
I was just about to say, though, I mean, to be fair, I don't like it being too hot, but maybe that's a Scottish thing. Yeah,
you're not used to it.
Definitely not.
But don't you find the early mornings, when you wake up in the morning and the sun shines already out there?
Oh, it's lovely.
Makes you feel
so good, especially in this kind of job where you are up at 4 a.m. It's very good, that early light, you get all the UVA and UVB without all the bad stuff.
And it's not boiling hot as well.
And it resets all of your kind
Said
of...
one miserable Scotsman.
circadian rhythms. It's very good for you.
Yeah.
Well, you won't be laughing after the next game, will you? The next Scotland game? Or do you think you're going to go all the way?
No, of course not. But,
Don't say that.
It'd be nice well, we're not going to win it, but it'd be nice to get out the group. Yeah. That's what I mean. It'd be great. The first time ever.
Yeah,
fingers crossed.
I mean, that would be fantastic.
So far, so good.
It's a piece of history. You're top of the group.
Absolutely.
No.
And Brazil can't say that.
No.
Not yet, anyway.
No, you are ahead of...
Scotland are better than Brazil. It's official.
It's official.
You're practically World Cup winners.
The league table doesn't lie.
No. This is true. How nice is it, though, that we've got that to reflect on?
Well, it's nice. I couldn't believe it was the top story. It was great.
It is winning. It is absolutely
top story in the news. Great.
And the fans that went.
But my argument was, if England had won the first game or done something that was historic for the... It'd be top story.
Yeah,
and
100%.
we serve the whole of the United Kingdom, and so it's just as important. It's
it was great.
nation.
Yeah, and it was great to see all the Scottish football fans happily talking away, and a few drinks maybe had, I think, or quite chatty with Ben Leo earlier.
It's also great to see a happy, smiling Emma Raducanu on our front pages suddenly.
Yeah.
So, no, come on, if there are things to smile about, let's smile.
Yeah, don't we? We need it at the moment.
Absolutely.
Everything else is so... I can't get my head around everything else that's going on.
I know, I think politics has been so miserable and so divisive. The news has been really bad. The weather's been appalling, really, for June, most of June.
Yeah.
People have been really, really down.
Yeah.
And it's not just sort of the last few weeks. I think it's been a tough news schedule for a few months.
Let's allow ourselves to feel good
100%, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Anyway, it's been joyous seeing you.
Nice to see you, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, nice to see you with a smile on your face once, Kevin.
It won't last.
No, it won't. No, it won't. All right, you two, thank you. Let's get a check on the weather for you with Anna.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Showers easing away this morning, leaving lots of bright spells, much lighter winds, so feeling warm where we do see any sunshine. There could be some showers through the early hours of the morning, mostly across northern parts of Scotland, perhaps some very light outbreaks of rain across Northern Ireland, but most of the showers, particularly across Scotland, will be easing away. Plenty of bright spells by the afternoon. Now, we do have quite a lot of cloud across the skies this afternoon. This could be thick enough to produce a very odd light shower, but for most it's dry, settled, feeling warm in the sunshine, particularly across the southwest, also western areas of Scotland, feeling very warm here. Now, through into the evening, there should be plenty of late evening sunshine across parts of Scotland. Mostly light winds, though there is still a bit of a northerly breeze across the Northern Isles, just being picked up across some eastern coasts of Scotland as well. A fine end to the day across Northern Ireland. There's some bits and bobs of cloud still remaining across northern parts of England. Quite a similar picture elsewhere across England and Wales, but it should feel warm in any late evening sunshine. And then through the course of the night, it should still remain mostly dry. A mix of cloud, also some clear skies. Eventually, though, through the early hours of the morning, cloud thickening up across southern parts of Wales, southwest England, perhaps seeing some light showers through the early hours of the morning. It should feel fairly warm across parts of the southwest, southern parts of Wales as well. Quite a warm night to come here, but elsewhere and across much of the country, it's going to be a cooler, fresher start as we head towards the new working week. Now, once again, Monday should be mostly dry, settled, plenty of bright, if not sunny spells, though we do have this band of showers pushing into parts of Wales, southwest England, moving its way northeastwards. This could be heavy at times. We might even hear the odd rumble of thunder. Otherwise, once again, feeling warm in the sunshine as we head into next week, a fairly similar picture with temperatures increasing day by day.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
There's just 2 weeks left to grab a chance to live the summer of your dreams.
With a totally tax-free £76,543.21 in tax-free cash to be won.
Someone really has to win it, and it could be you.
For a chance to win, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it? Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes & Co weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I ever got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. It's victory for Scotland in the World Cup as they beat Haiti in the opening game of their tournament.
Now, that was just a few hours ago. Scenes of jubilation as John McGinn secured the nation's first World Cup win in 36 years.
Yes, it was a rearguard action at times for Steve Clarke's side, but they were helped as Group C rivals Brazil were held by Morocco in New Jersey. It means Scotland are top of that group as things stand. And in tennis, Emma Raducanu rolls back the years by reaching the final at Queen's.
British Armed Forces intercept a Russian oil tanker in the English Channel in the early hours of this morning in what could be an early test for the new Defence Secretary.
And it comes as Dan Jarvis says he'll get the armed forces the funds they need, urging the government to meet the moment.
Nigel Farage pledges to evict foreign nationals from council housing, prioritising veterans and local residents.
And that comes as brand new analysis claims that more than 100,000 failed asylum seekers are feared to be living in the UK illegally because they haven't been deported.
President Trump has said a peace deal between the US and Iran will be signed today, reopening the Strait of Hormuz.
Could a peace deal be the perfect birthday present for the president? Donald Trump turns 80 today and is celebrating by hosting a mass brawl. Well, it's a, what do they call it?
Cage fight.
Cage fight in the White House gardens.
Hello there, good morning. A dry, settled day ahead with some sunny spells, but perhaps a bit more cloud than what we saw yesterday. Stay tuned and I'll be here with all the details.
It's just gone 9 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
And I'm Anne Diamond, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Yes, I don't think you can describe a cage fight as a mass brawl.
No, I apologise. I didn't.
No, I'm not blaming you. But it's...
Yes, it's a cage fight and it's sort of...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's individuals cage fighting or several...
Or just
tag teaming or... But that makes it sound like it's just they're all just going to have these
come
lunatics...
and fight on the White House lawn.
Yeah.
No, it's not that. It's organised.
Yeah, it's UFC, isn't it?
Is UFC professional?
Yeah, it is. It's big. It's kind of a halfway house between WWE and what we know as boxing, I would say. But it has its own...
Didn't Tyson Fury do UFC?
No, he fought an UFC fighter.
Oh, right.
So there's a
something.
crossover. There's big intrigue over whether UFC fighters can hold their own in boxing and vice versa.
Yeah.
And the kind of benchmark is still WWE. That has global appeal going back since the early mid-80s. Which is fake wrestling, as in entertainment wrestling. Yeah. But can you brand it the same? Can you brand it in a professional sense?
Yeah.
I think there's room for all three.
Oh, yeah.
And boxing certainly doesn't have it all its own way now.
No.
That's right.
Well, I mean, look, whatever you think of it all,
and then
it's controversial on the White House, but I I think it'd be quite entertaining.
Yeah,
to be fair.
I can see Milana saying, no, I don't.
They're all threatened by the YouTubers as well, of course.
Oh, yeah.
All that kind of stuff. They're getting huge numbers.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him. Just watching him being put in a cage and fought.
You're not the only one.
For money. Anyway, look, away from that sport to this one, which is what really matters for you this morning. Scotland defeating Haiti 1-0 in their opening World Cup match in Boston.
It's their first World Cup win in 36 years. You can see why they're so happy about it. GB News presenter Ben Leo was in Boston at the time.
Tens of thousands of Scotland fans have made their way over to the United States for this tournament. So much so that one flight yesterday from Edinburgh, they sold out of booze completely on the plane. All the spirits, all the beer had gone courtesy of the Tartan Army. We caught up with one fan a second ago who was in the stadium for that emphatic 1-0 win. And I've got one delighted Scotland fan with me now. How was it, 1-0? How are you feeling?
It was absolutely superb. John McGinn is going to win the Ballon d'Or. Scotland are going to win the World Cup. And we're going to drink your ales.
And you were in the stadium?
I was there, yes, I was.
What was it like, the atmosphere, when McGinn scored that opening goal?
Oh, here we go. It was absolutely superb. One of, if not the best I was in. It was, words can't describe it.
And how much did you pay to come here? Because there's lots of talk about it being the most expensive World Cup ever. Did that come into your mind at all?
Yeah, did I? Because the Americans charge us £540 a ticket. Like, come on.
Is that what you paid? $540?
$540, aye. Don't tell my mum that.
That's hefty, but it's got. Is it worth it after tonight?
Oh yeah, of course it was, aye. We're top of the group. Brazil who?
And you've got Morocco next Friday. That could be your route into the next round.
Yeah, 1 point does it. Really, 1 point does it. It's perfect, and we will get it. Come on, Scotland.
And just very quickly, the celebrations behind us.
Yeah.
Late into the night. How long are you staying out?
As long as they'll have us.
Love it. There's just something really appealing about someone like that who's so enthusiastic and their voice has gone. Because, you know, they've just been shouting and screaming. Brilliant stuff.
I think he will stay as long as they'll have him as well.
Oh, of course. I mean, look, you've got to milk every moment of it.
Of course. Yeah, of course you have. You waited
Absolutely
28 years. Goodness me, why not? And you paid £540 for a ticket?
Yeah.
And all your accommodation, your travel. Goodness me. Enjoy it while you can.
Something good happens, make the most of it. Brilliant.
What about the match itself?
Well, look, I mean, I've seen players wilt in that kind of environment before, where there's massive patriotic fervour seeping down from the fans. And it's all very well the fans expecting the team to win. They've got Haiti. The fans saw a minnow of a side and thought, well, we'll do this easily. It wasn't that easy, actually. They scored in the 28th minute, so they had something to cling to. But in the second half, they were a bit nervy. They retreated into their own half. Look, you've got to do what you've got to do sometimes to win. They didn't need to win 3 or 4-0. 1-0 was ample. They got the 3 points, and they're top of the league now. And if you look at the other sides as well in the group, Morocco and Brazil, who coincidentally were in their group last time, both in their group last time, they're at the World Cup in France '98. But what they didn't do, Anne, was they didn't do what happened in 1990. They were playing Costa Rica in the first game in January. They were fancied to win. We didn't have the knowledge then of all these South American and Central American countries. And so we didn't realise how good Costa Rica were. Costa Rica have since held their own in tournaments since then. And back in 1990, they beat Scotland in that first game. It meant that in the second game against Sweden, they had it all to do. They did win. Stuart McCall and Mo Johnson scored with a penalty 10 minutes from time, and that gave them a fighting chance. But that Brazil game was a bridge too far. They lost that one by a goal to nil, owing to a mistake by the goalkeeper. And it's because they didn't win the first game that they left themselves with so much to do in that last match. Hopefully, they've done it differently this time. They've got the lesser of the three, or the less difficult of the three fixtures out of the way. They just need 1 point from the fixture 2 and fixture 3. However, they could even still get through as the best third-place side without winning another game, so it's all to play for.
Yeah, well, yes, it really is, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, 1 point.
Yeah.
So we'll get 1 point. They get 1 point for a draw, wouldn't they, in the next
one?
Yeah,
of course, yeah. But Morocco are good. And they're playing them in the same venue as last night. And you've got to play Brazil as well, who've got world-class players. In fact, Morocco have got world-class players as well. But you know what? If I was Brazil, if I was Morocco, would I fancy playing Scotland with all those fans there and all the noise they bring? And the fact they're hungry because they've not been at a tournament for so long, or not been at a World Cup for so long. I'm not sure I'd fancy it, especially if you're Brazil and the pressure is on you. The pressure has nothing but winning that trophy is good enough for the Brazilian public.
How many Scottish fans do we think are there?
I don't know. Usually, I think it's a couple 100,000. Wow. I mean, there were loads Ben spoke to who couldn't get in. Some will have tickets for the second game, just the third game, and they think, well, if we're going to go to one game, we may as well go for the first game and just go to a pub.
Yeah.
You know, because there's plenty to see. There's fan parks.
Yes.
You'll probably bump into your mates on the street.
Yeah.
Bump into Ben Leo.
Well, yeah, there you go. There's a bonus.
If you're
There's a
lucky.
bonus. Make sure he's got a microphone with him and get interviewed.
Yes.
That's the way. Lovely. All right, Aidan.
Nice to
Thanks
see
very
you.
much indeed.
So I suppose we go back to politics. Nigel Farage has announced that he would evict foreign nationals from council housing.
Yeah, under the Reform leaders' plans, migrants will be given 3 months to find private accommodation or face being deported.
Yes, instead, veterans and long-term local residents will be given priority, along with domestic abuse survivors and care leavers.
Well, it just throws something else into the mix, doesn't it, in politics this week? I don't know if it's going to be the key topic of conversation from 9:30. Emily Carver is standing by for us in the hot seat. Morning, Emily.
Morning.
Because, look, on top of everything else, what a week for the government this has been, especially when it comes to the Defence Investment Plan, where we still don't know what we're getting, and it would seem the new Defence Secretary is able to wangle a better deal than anybody else, if we believe what we're told.
Well, he certainly wants to, doesn't he, Stephen and Anne? Yes, it's going to be a jam-packed show today. I have got Lisa Nandy from the government. She's the Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sport. I'm going to be asking her, will this defence plan change under Dan Jarvis? A new Defence Secretary, the previous Defence Secretary, says it's absolutely not up to scratch, that it would leave our troops very unsafe. So are they going to find some more money? And is she willing, as the Secretary of State of Media, Culture and Sport, is she willing to cut her budget further to enable us with our national security? So I'm going to be putting that to her. We've also got the Shadow Defence Secretary on, James Cartledge from the Conservative Party. Are we in this mess because of the Conservatives? The Conservatives in government for 14 years, Labour only about 2 years. Whose fault is it really that we're in this state where we have the smallest army since the Napoleonic Wars? I'll put that to him, of course. We're also going to be speaking to Reform UK's Suella Braverman. Now, following the hideous attack in Belfast, we've learnt more about how the suspect may have entered Northern Ireland, and it may well have been under her watch. So I'll put that to her and ask what we can do to make sure that we have more border checks and keep civilians in this country safe from illegal migration. I'm also going to be speaking to an actual expert on defence, which can only be a good thing, Lord Dannett, the former head of the British Army. I'm going to be speaking to him and asking him what exactly we need. We've had so many warnings in the papers today about the state of our army. We have only 8,000 drones. To put that in context, Ukraine used 200,000 drones a month in their fight against Russia. So I want to know just how badly equipped are we, and is 3% even enough to keep us safe?
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting question, because I know he's been really scathing about the mess that we're in. But even if there was an outbreak of total sanity in the Houses of Parliament and ministers and others decided to support real, proper spending, how long would it take for us to get our defences up to standard?
Well, that's a very good point, and people complaining about the amount of money that's going to defence. A lot of other people complaining about how we procure, our procurement processes. How long would it take, for example, to get new frigates? How long would it take to get new warships? How long would it take to get the drones that we may need in the future? So I'll be putting that point to Lord Dannett. I'll be putting that to Lisa Nandy and see what she has to say. Standing by the Prime Minister, of course, in her position in the Cabinet. Will she be for long?
Yeah, all right, Emily. We'll see you at 9:30.
Yeah,
Thanks very much indeed. I tell you what, though, in terms of all this, the new building and all the rest of it, I mean, for places like Barrow-in-Furness that build a lot of submarines and did a lot of ships and all the rest of it in the past, the investment and the impact on local economies. I know it's a lot of money to find and to spend, but actually it reaps its own rewards.
Yes, because it provides jobs. It gives people the ability to actually afford their housing.
Spends money in local shops.
Needs less welfare if you've got a job. Yeah. Surely you have to invest in your population, not just deprive them of jobs.
Speculate to accumulate.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, isn't it, really? Anyway, hey, look, talking of money, how about some money for you this way? You wouldn't win it this morning, but, you know, in the next couple of weeks, actually, £76,543.21 with not a single penny to pay in income tax on that. It could all be yours. Someone's got to win it. Here's how you take part.
There's just 2 weeks left to grab a chance to live the summer of your dreams.
As we could be making all of those dreams come true this year with a totally tax-free £76,543.21 in tax-free cash to be won.
Someone really has to win it, and it could be you. What would you do with all that cash?
That could be your year on us.
Or find yourself in the lap of 5-star luxury, somewhere like here, the Imperial Island Resort in Paphos. You really could be the next guaranteed winner, but don't miss out, there's only 2 weeks left to enter.
For a chance to win £76,543.21 in tax-free cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
You know, when I'm at home and I see that on the telly, I think, oh, I must remember to enter that, and think, no, I can't.
No.
It's very disappointing.
Because if you won it, you'd have to give it
so
back. Can you
enticing.
imagine getting the call and then realising it's you?
Yeah.
And then you'd have to give it back.
Yeah.
So unfair. It's really hard working here sometimes.
Gosh, this is just terrible.
Anyway, look, we've got a great inspiring story coming up for you in just a moment. It's a crew of injured, wounded, sick and serving veterans who've completed a historic sailing expedition. We'll talk to one of the skippers in a moment. It's a great story.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain,
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way. You will not want to miss it, trust me.
The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday Five.
You got me. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah.
Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight on the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
9:18 now. This is incredible. A crew of injured and wounded veterans and serving personnel have completed a historic sailing expedition around the UK, carrying the Invictus Games flag.
Yes, it's called the Full Circle Sailing Expedition, and it embarked on a momentous 12-week journey, having sailed 2,000 miles around the UK to complete the whole full circle.
Well, it supported more than 500 injured veterans, and the charity is raising £300,000 to fund their mission to support veterans right across the nation.
We're joined now by the Chief Instructor at Turn to Starboard, Paul Miller. Very good morning to you, Paul. Congratulations on reaching the conclusion, but there's more to do, isn't there? What does it do for people who are wounded, injured or sick veterans? What does it do for them to do this sort of voyage on this wonderful sailing ship?
Good morning. It is that human impact, and that's why Turn to Starboard exists, and even at the Invictus Games Birmingham 2027. It's about giving people maybe a reset, maybe seeing, taking that breath, but also a bit of camaraderie as well. Literally everybody's in the same boat. The blue environment is completely different. Everything is different on a boat. Walking, sitting down, making a cup of tea, even going to the loo is slightly different. So it can give people a break from sort of the pressures of life.
It's interesting that the first thing you mentioned is camaraderie, because that's what a lot of veterans miss when they end up on Civvy Street, isn't it? That there is a camaraderie in the armed forces that you don't really get anywhere else.
There is, some people call it that tribal element, and everybody on that boat has a part to play. It's everybody gets involved in safely moving that boat from A to B, and like you said, it's that camaraderie and being a part of a team, and you could say to some extent having that mission.
Yeah, and obviously just being on board and keeping the ship in fighting form, as it were, keeping it moving, is a very, very physical thing, isn't it, for everybody involved?
It is, and none of our vessels are modified in any shape or form for, say, anybody who's sort of missing potentially a limb or an amputee. But we find that veterans don't want that. They adapt to the environment, and but yeah, it's physical, and sometimes sleep can also be a problem. So you learn a lot about yourself on a boat. You learn a lot about other people, but more importantly yourself, particularly when there's a bit of fatigue involved.
Well, when we were reading up about you this morning, what I didn't realise, I thought about a voyage around the UK, fine, but the fact that it's tall ships, it makes it an entirely different ball game, because this is an environment there that nobody will be used to. It's not like they're walking into something that they may have some familiarity with, because they just won't in that situation.
No, absolutely. There's a lot going on these vessels. One of them's they're both replicas. One's 41 years old, and the other one's is 6 years old. But no, everything on that boat is, it's human power, you could say, to get those sails up, to get those sails down safely. And also, the UK, as we all know, the weather can be varied. We actually went around the UK anti-clockwise, and normally prevailing winds say you should do it clockwise. But for various events, we had to go anti-clockwise.
Where did you start?
We started in Falmouth on March the 17th, and we got back Thursday, June the 11th.
Gosh, wow. And what sort of weather? I mean, we've just being stuck here in one city, we've experienced about 5-6 different types of weather in the last couple of weeks. What sort of weathers did you come across?
Oh, we had everything. Obviously, safety is paramount, but both vessels can sort of cope with about a force 8. So we're talking about some high winds and some high seas there. So it's the soft, squidgy things on the inside of the boat that we've got more concern for. The boats can cope with the weather. But yeah, we had everything. So everybody met the challenge and endured and met their challenges.
Well,
it's wonderful stuff
you've done.
Paul, thank you very much indeed. Congratulations. And here's to the next one, because I know you'll have many more to come on that. Thank you.
Thank you. It's brilliant to end on such an inspirational tale. Thank you very much.
It is. Right, that's it from us. But Emily Carver is here next with your politics.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Showers easing away this morning, leaving lots of bright spells, much lighter winds, so feeling warm where we do see any sunshine. There could be some showers through the early hours of the morning, mostly across northern parts of Scotland, perhaps some very light outbreaks of rain across Northern Ireland, but most of the showers, particularly across Scotland, will be easing away. Plenty of bright spells by the afternoon. Now, we do have quite a lot of cloud across the skies this afternoon. This could be thick enough to produce a very odd light shower, but for most it's dry, settled, feeling warm in the sunshine, particularly across the southwest, also western areas of Scotland, feeling very warm here. Now, through into the evening, there should be plenty of late evening sunshine across parts of Scotland. Mostly light winds, though there is still a bit of a northerly breeze across the Northern Isles, just being picked up across some eastern coasts of Scotland as well. A fine end to the day across Northern Ireland. There's some bits and bobs of cloud still remaining across northern parts of England. Quite a similar picture elsewhere across England and Wales, but it should feel warm in any late evening sunshine. And then through the course of the night, it should still remain mostly dry. A mix of cloud, also some clear skies. Eventually, though, through the early hours of the morning, cloud thickening up across southern parts of Wales, southwest England, perhaps seeing some light showers through the early hours of the morning. It should feel fairly warm across parts of the southwest, southern parts of Wales as well. Quite a warm night to come here, but elsewhere and across much of the country, it's going to be a cooler, fresher start as we head towards the new working week. Now, once again, Monday should be mostly dry, settled, plenty of bright, if not sunny spells, though we do have this band of showers pushing into parts of Wales, southwest England, moving its way northeastwards. This could be heavy at times. We might even hear the odd rumble of thunder. Otherwise, once again, feeling warm in the sunshine as we head into next week, a fairly similar picture with temperatures increasing day by day.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
the Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
Because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's tonight, Late Edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience, because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB